Thailand's constitutional court has ruled that a proposal by the country's most popular political party to amend the royal defamation law violates the Thai constitution.
For the second time in a week, the fate of the reformist Move Forward party lay in the hands of the 9 judges of the Constitutional Court. Unlike last week, this time the court ruled against the party, judging that its campaign promise to amend the lèse-majesty law amounted to an attempt to overthrow the entire political system in Thailand. The vote carries no immediate penalty, but is widely expected to be used to justify dissolving Move Forward and banning its leaders from politics for several years. By ruling this way, the court has in effect made the lèse-majesty law, which is widely criticised for stifling freedom of expression in Thailand, almost untouchable.
The BBC's Jonathan Head reporting from Bangkok. News and analysis, townhall.com. Well, the Great White North has certainly lived up to its nickname this winter.
A new storm has dropped nearly 17 more inches of snow on Anchorage, bringing the seasonal total past 100 inches. Ian Beckett says the snow makes his job as a tourism bus driver just a tad bit difficult.
Especially for somebody like me that's got to drive in it every single day for a living. So it's, I got to give Anchorage credit. They're doing pretty good on the roads considering last year how bad it was. But
so much snow has fallen that roofs on commercial buildings are collapsing around Anchorage, and officials are urging residents to break out their shovels to avoid a similar fate at home. Anchorage is already in the record books with this year's snowfall at 8th snowiest, with a lot of time left in the season. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Universal Music Group, representing some of today's biggest artists, says it will no longer allow its music on TikTok. The licensing deal between the two parties has expired. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy middle of the week, everybody.
Welcome to Wednesday.
That's right. A little foggy out there this morning.
A little bit. It was actually pretty clear driving in. I think the fog kind of rolled in
later.
A little later, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of rolled in since we've been here in the last 30 minutes or so.
It's weird when you head out like right as the sun's sort of like not coming up yet, but just like there's light in the sky.
Yeah.
And you can see the thickness of the cloud that like actually is completely all surrounding Roswell.
Yeah. Kind of neat.
Yeah. The sun is up. It's just, over that thing.
I was I was a few minutes late getting in this morning, and as I was walking, I park in the alley, and then I kind of walk up 3rd Street to the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at east of town as I'm walking up 3rd there, and I'm seeing the sun come up. It's kind of a neat thing looking up 3rd Street and seeing kind of the orange in the sky farther east as the sun. It was kind of pretty walk that, I don't know, 200 feet between the alley and the door there.
Yeah. I mean, if this cloud wasn't here, it's that perfect moment right before the sun becomes an assault weapon.
Yeah.
Like, where it's nice. It's beautiful. There's like orange and pinks in the sky. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, I can't drive east.
Yeah.
God forbid if your kids have school anywhere over there.
It's, for me, that the nightmare can be in the afternoons.
Mm-hmm.
The way my house faces, when I turn into my garage at anywhere in the 4 to 5 o'clock, depending on the time of the year, but right around that time before sunset, but later in the day when the sun's kind of lower in the west.
In that almost magic hour moment.
Yeah. And the way it just hits through there, I'm blinded pretty much trying to look in my garage, like trying to drive into my garage during that time because just the way the sun comes in.
God forbid there's a fleck of dust on your windshield because that thing's just going to be like a rainbow pattern.
Oh, yeah. And my Jeep's always dirty, so it's a nightmare. But that one, I just, had it not be for the fact that I turn in there every day, so there's kind of a muscle memory. Yeah. So had it not be for that, I probably would hit the garage at least 100 times.
Well, and now that I think about it, the front of your house is west facing.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are kind of in the shadow of the hospital a bit, so
right.
And you have that wall there, so that kind of helps block a lot of that too.
And the trees and stuff. But right in that certain window, the sun, I guess, is not blocked by the buildings or the trees, and it just hits, and you try to turn right in, and it's like, all I see is a big orange ball of light.
Yeah. That is quite the hassle. And I don't have cool visors that, this is like when I first bought my car, I was like just kind of checking things out, and I flip my visor down. I'm like, okay, good, mirror and everything. And I went to pull it and it didn't pull. So I can't extend my visor. So God forbid, I can do the window thing, but if the sun is anywhere past like this much of a shield, I'm screwed. I'm just having to do this thing.
I think when the blinders or whatever you call those things, the ones that do have that little slide out side piece, or they can slide to the left or right at any couple inches. I've had cars that do that, and I'm not sure if the Jeep does or not, to be honest. I don't think it does. But in my personal experience, and I'm sure everyone else, and this is like a comedy bit, I think whoever makes that little slide thing measures it precisely. So no matter where you are, if you slide it out to use it, it's about a half inch too short.
Just too short.
To block the sun.
Right. But see, at that point, you're being selfish. See, I don't even have the plastic thing. At least you get like a whole hour and a half of protection with that thing. God forbid you have to do this for a little while.
Well, I'm just like, is there, if I could just move it.
Just a hair over.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is quite the hassle.
I think the worst I've ever experienced, like driving into the sun kind of thing. And it was a lesson learned. This is back when my in-laws lived in Tucson. And so around the first time we were going out to see them in Tucson, I left after work.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Driving just straight westbound.
Yeah, so we left here probably about 3:30, right after everyone got off work, and we were heading to Tucson, planning on getting in about 10 o'clock that night or whatever it was. And yeah, that was a bad idea because right around 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'm heading on the interstate. I'm like near Deming and near that just heading west, and the whole time the sun is right in my face. I was praying for like an 18-wheeler just to tuck behind it and just hang out,
or just one errant cloud.
Yeah, I thought I burned my eyeballs out at the end of that trip.
I make that same.
I was so happy when it got dark.
I make that same mistake every time I go to Oklahoma for a visit because I always I don't want to drive through the night because my dad was notorious for that. I hated that. I'm a bad night driver anyways. So I'm like, I'll leave out first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Great idea. Till you realize, you're driving straight into the rising sun.
Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure I felt like Oppenheimer when they got to the blast where everyone's got all like crap on their face and
skin stretched back just a little bit.
I was like, that's how I felt after getting to that trip. But happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yes.
We got a nice day, I think. I was looking at the weather. Like they were talking like Friday earlier in the week that we might have a little change. Nah, not anymore. But you know what didn't go away? The wind.
Of course not.
It's still going to be breezy, but
does it ever?
No rain. So, but we'll get you up to date with the weather here. Let me give you the rundown.
Yes.
For today's show. We're going to replay this hour, our interview we had with Lori Schatz. She joined us yesterday from the Roswell Community Theater, talking about the big Johnny Cash show that's happening this Saturday, 2 o'clock and 6 p.m. at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Tickets are still available. It's going to be a fun show.
It is.
An intimate portrait of Johnny Cash It is a fundraising event for the communal theater. It is also an amazing concert that I think you're going to have a lot of fun. The man that's doing the show, he is Johnny Cash.
I wonder if he's going to do Hurt.
I hope. I would think that's because to a certain generation of people, that's what they know him for.
It reignited his career.
Exactly.
I mean, sadly, like at the worst possible time, but yeah, I mean.
But he is, according to Lori, and we talk about in the interview, he does do the various...
The stages?
Generations or stages of Johnny Cash, you know. So
nice.
If you know early Johnny, he does that. But if you know later Johnny and all the Johnnies in between.
Now we just need to find somebody who Chautauqua's is June.
Yeah. And as I said, he's got to find his June Carter Cash.
Right.
But apparently he's working, we talked about in the interview, maybe it was the last one. His next one he's working on is Neil Diamond.
Oh, great.
How cool would
Tell
that
him
be?
to go watch Saving Silverman. Because they nail it. They nail it in that movie.
But to be honest, I'm like, this guy's got some range because Johnny Cash and Neil Diamond are two different. I mean, they're both iconic.
Yeah.
But Johnny's got a quiet coolness about him. Where Neil Diamond, I'm going to blast a hole in your face with my power.
Play Cracklin' Rosie and shut up.
Like he gets on the stage, he's like,
yeah,
he's like, whoa.
He's got that Meatloaf energy.
Yeah,
almost, you know?
he's gonna. You might get smacked,
right?
But so I'm very curious. I would like to kind of see like him go in and out between those characters sometime. But anyway, that's what we're gonna play. We're gonna play that interview.
I love Neil Diamond, if for no other reason than because he wrote a song called Cracklin' Rosie. That's literally my favorite song of his.
Neil Diamond's one of those.
It's fun to backsell.
To me, Neil Diamond's always been one of those artists that your parents loved, but he's still kind of cool in a weird sort of place. Like Willie, like there's certain people that transformed that. Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson. I think Neil Diamond is qualified. I think he's on the spectrum of you don't want to admit it at first, but then you start hearing the songs like, oh dang, I guess I am a Neil Diamond fan.
Right?
You know what I mean?
It's same way. My parents though are weird. Like both my parents' their favorite band was Three Dog Night.
Oh yeah.
I mean, of all the
well, they grew up in that era where those were like the heyday of those types of bands' careers. So they knew them when they were relevant. But anyway, we're going to play the interview with Lori Schatz this hour and talk about the Johnny Cash show. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview we had with Miguel Duran from the Southeast Mexico Veterans Transport. He joined us on Monday, I believe, to talk a little bit about what they do. And then folks from American Legion Post 61 going to join us in the 9 o'clock hour, give us an update. They do have a big announcement. You may have heard it on the news. It has been on the news already, but they officially took over ownership of Memory Lawn Cemetery here in the last month or so. And so we'll talk more about that with them, what that means and all that. So what it means is we're going to keep it going, but you know, it changed ownership. It's
a great business to get into. I mean, people are dying to get in.
Right.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
You know, and it has me because I never thought about it until this time with this when we're buying it. It's like, you know, the person that you kind of deal with at a cemetery as far as finding your plots and purchasing and making arrangements and all that is the sexton. It's generally what that person's role is. And it got me thinking, it's like, it's got to be an interesting job to do this all day and sell holes in the ground to people's dead loved ones. It's kind of a different type of job.
I never watched the show 6 Feet Under, but I've heard a lot of people say it's kind of like it explores a lot of that whole lifestyle.
Unfortunately, I think in its heyday, I was a little too young to get that kind of humor.
Right.
Like I was at that age where I was on the cusp of being into.
I kind of want to go back and watch it. Just like
I may need to in my adult brain.
Exactly with adult sensibilities.
But I remember at the time I kind of watched it and thought it was
too dark,
a little too dark or too over my head, or it wasn't.
Dark comedy is real hit or miss for me.
Yeah, and it may have been one of those shows that was kind of ahead of its time. Like if it was 10 years later, it would have been a mega hit. And now, granted, it was a hit for HBO, but I don't think it wasn't The Sopranos or any of those.
No, it wasn't
those
a huge thing.
Shows.
It was, you know what? It's weird. It was big in a certain like subset of like their target demo was like teen to 20 something girls.
Yeah,
because a lot of girls like my age now were very into 6 Feet
And one
Under
of the
at
main guys in that was also in another show that was kind of was a little bit of a hit, but it wasn't. Was called Sports Night.
Oh, I remember Sports Night. That was
the main guy in that was also one of the main guys in that other show about the.
Wasn't that a what's the guy's name? Westwood. Wasn't that a Sorkin?
It may have been.
I
It
think
may have been a
Sports Night was
Sorkin
a
product.
Sorkin.
It may have been. Now that I think about it, it kind of reminded me of a Sorkin deal. I never went and looked, but you very much could be. But yeah, the guy that was kind of the main dude on that was also the main guy on that HBO show. So it kind of hit him at like the high water mark of that guy's career. Because quite frankly, I don't think I've seen him since.
It's very odd how
shows.
you'll like see one dude or one young lady pop up in like 5 or 6 movies in like one chunk, and then just like never again.
Then he disappears.
Like whatever happened to Amy Smart? I think we've had this conversation before.
She pops up every once in a while.
I think she's in like a series on something, but it's just like she
The
was.
last thing I saw her in was that Beanie Baby movie. That
Oh, really?
Prime or whoever did that movie.
Because she was in like every movie for like she was the love interest in like every single movie of like the early 2000s.
She was in that Beanie Baby movie, if I remember right. The one with Zach Galifianakis.
Right.
I can't remember what it's called. Ty, or I don't remember what this.
Was it? It's the story of Ty.
Yeah,
Burrell or
yeah,
whatever.
it's that movie.
Not Ty Burrell. That's the guy from Modern Family.
Ty Cobb. No, that's not it either.
Yes, that can't be it.
Yeah, it was that one there too. Oh, something else I want to mention real quick. I just saw it yesterday on Facebook. My wife pointed out the Liberty is going to be. Oh shoot! I got to go get the guy's name. So I've been watching this season because there's been nothing on. America's Got Talent this season's America's Got Talent,
right?
And this year's America's Got Talent is it's
teams, right? Like your mentors.
Yeah, basically it's past performances, past acts. Some have won AGT, some were like runners up, and it's not just AGT, it's British Got Talent and Britain's Got. I think it's been like South Africa's Got Talent or one of those. Like there's been some of these contestants competed on those shows.
Okay.
But one of the guys that's a stand-up comedian that I don't think he won AGT, but he was one of the finalists in one of the seasons. I don't know. But he's on this season.
Okay.
And he's one of the he's going to be at the Liberty in August.
Really?
Yeah,
Who?
Preacher Lawson. I don't remember what season of AGT he was on, but he's on the current one.
Okay.
Now, I can't remember if he's with Howie or Simon. I can't remember which. They trade sometimes, and so I think he may have been one of the ones that got grabbed or something. But
comedy is a real tough sell on a show like AGT.
That's the first time I saw him was the other night on TV. It's pretty funny, and he's going to be at the Liberty in August 4th. So.
By the way, the show that Amy Smart got lost in is called Stargirl. She's been on that for a couple of years now. Preacher Lawson. Let's see. Let's dive on in. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I do. I have seen this guy before. I think I've seen like one of his short like TikToks or something.
Okay. Yeah. He's going to be in Roswell in August at the Liberty. So thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Probably ought to get the hour going here, so I probably should shut the pie hole. It is 21 minutes after 7. Let's get you up to date on the weather. It's going to be nice and then windy.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mix of sunshine and clouds for us today. We still have high pressure overhead. We'll be in the mid-60s on this afternoon's temperature, dropping into the upper 30s and low 40s overnight, and we stay clear. A little bit warmer on Thursdays. Sunshine and our high topping out in the low to mid-70s. Might get a few showers coming in on Friday, our high in the mid-40s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, it was lapping and didn't bring up my weather. 44 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 53%. Winds currently out of the north at 6 miles per hour. Cloudy this morning, then gradually becoming sunny. Expect a high of 64 today with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 37. South winds 5 to 10. Mostly sunny for your Thursday. High of 72 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 43 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 10. Friday, not talking about rain anymore, but the wind's still lingering. Partly cloudy and 64 for a high. Southwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. And looking at the weekend, sunny and windy on Saturday with a high of 58. Sunny and breezy on Sunday, high of 63 expected there. All right, 7:23. We're going to take a quick commercial break and then our interview with Lori Schatz from the Roswell Community Theater, talking about the big Johnny Cash show this weekend. Don't go away.
Attention Roswell, Carlsbad, Artesia, and all of southeast New Mexico. The University of New Mexico wants you. UNM is ranked in the top 1.5% of all universities in the world, and the only Research One university in New Mexico, with over 200 academic programs and endless opportunities. UNM is truly a world-class university. Define your future at the University of New Mexico. And UNM has increased the number of scholarships for 2021. So now is the time to apply. Apply today at unm.edu. Now accepting applications from Southeast New Mexico.
Foot and ankle problems are often agonizing, but they don't have to be. At Artesia General Hospital, we're passionate about helping every patient return to optimal mobility with confidence and comfort. Our board-certified podiatrists, Dr. Jennifer Chow and Dr. Michael Krupa, provide a full spectrum of services ranging from routine foot care and pain relief to customized treatment plans and leading-edge surgeries. Visit artesiageneral.com/foot care to request your appointment today.
Attention Roswell, Carlsbad, Artesia, and surrounding areas. Roswell Tire and Appliance has what you're looking for with a great selection of refrigerators, freezers, washers and dryers, and ranges, and they can prepare your appliance as well with many models in stock and on sale. You can own it today. RTA services after the sale with repair, warranty, and delivery to Roswell and surrounding areas. Save big on a selection of scratch and dent appliances too, plus a great selection of tires and a team of people to help you when you need it most. Roswell Tire and Appliance, 101 South Main in downtown Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, wearing her Roswell Community Theater hat today, Lady of Many Hats, Lori Schatz back with us. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning. Good.
Good. Well, you don't look crazy frazzled. The hair's not over, so I guess things are lining up good for this weekend.
Yes and no. We still have seats, obviously, but the tickets are coming in. Of course, I appreciate being on your show to get the word out, and we are doing half of it at least as a fundraiser. And yes. I know more about her now this week, so that's a good thing. That just happened last week when I had seen you, and unfortunately, Aletha isn't feeling well today, so that's why she.
Well, she'll be good for the weekend for the show.
I need her to be there for the show, so I was like, got it, I'll handle it.
Is she still the president of the board?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's kind of got a busy role there. So.
Oh yeah. And so if you go online and get tickets for the Johnny Cash show, which is this Saturday, and there is a 2 and a 6.
Yep, and there's both VIP and general admission available still.
And general admission still means it's seated.
Yes.
It's just where you're seated.
The only difference is that, you'll get, and this is arguable too, because every seat's a good seat in that. Mm-hmm. But you'll get choice seating. But you also, at intermission, you get to go and indulge in nosh on some food and wine. Plus, you get to meet the artist before the show. So and that all of that is just $10 more for the ticket.
Right.
So you might as well pony up the extra $10 and enjoy some drinks and food and get a chance to meet and get a little bit better seating. And especially if you're trying to make it a date weekend to kind of wine and dine your spouse or your date. It looks a little better when in the middle you can get a thing of wine where you're saying, no, you're not allowed in there.
Right.
You got to sit down.
You're banned.
So for $10 more, you can look like a baller. And again, it goes back to helping the community little theater. Right. It goes back to helping the lady that you personally have kind of made a mission to support on this one, whose family's dealing with cancer. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, she lives in Eddy County, so the Chaves County Cancer Fund is not available to her. So lines don't mean needs not there. So you said, you know what, I'm gonna forego my
any proceeds that I get, it's going to go towards her.
So if you'd like to donate a little extra towards that if you're there at the on Saturday.
I'll have tons of information for you.
And like there'll be a concession booth there, and you can go up and say, "Hey, I heard. Can I slip an extra $20 or whatever to this family?"
She wrote a book for children between the ages of 8 and 12. I'll have information on how you can go on Amazon and get the book, and she gets, some of that.
She's a young lady in her 30s that's dealing
35 years old.
with stage 4 cancer.
Colon cancer.
And I knew it was intestinal. I couldn't remember exactly
and it
where.
is metastasized in her lungs and her intestines.
I wonder if it's, I know just enough to be dangerous when it comes to this. There's generally 2 types of colon cancer.
Mm-hmm.
There's the less aggressive, slower one, which is what Steve Jobs had.
Uh-huh.
He just didn't follow the doctor's advice because that's very curable. But, and I'm guessing because of her age and what we're dealing with, it's probably this one. There is a much more aggressive, less warning version of this. And regardless, in their 30s is really too young to be even thinking about this stuff. But I'm going to guess, just based off the circumstances,
right,
she probably has the more aggressive
That's what
version.
I would guess, too.
Yeah.
She was diagnosed around the 23rd of December.
Okay.
She had symptoms or had a stomach that was upset.
Probably had
and
some
was really
pain or
hard,
something,
and
yeah.
So she went, and that's what she found out. She has 3 children, and 8, 12, and 14, I believe. Oliver is one of her children. She's known in Artesia as Oliver's mom. And he has a rare brain disease that he was born with. So he is completely dependent on her or her husband, Lance, for everything.
God did not give her the best deck of cards to start with this game with,
But he is
did
such a
she?
joyful child. And I will give you this information a little later on. But she has, friends of hers have made a GoFundMe page. And they've also made Meet the Swearingens page. It's a web page that gives you a lot about her. Not only is there GoFundMe and that I'm going to give her proceeds, but there's also an account at First American Bank, and also in Phoenix where she is at. It starts with an E, ENVITA. Invita. It's groundbreaking cancer treatment. It's different than your normal. It's not covered by their insurance. You can call them directly, and they give you the number on the website and contribute specifically for her bills to be paid.
Okay.
So there's many different ways you can help this family.
And I would imagine if you and your family's dealing with some cancer and having some stuff and maybe looking for some alternate ways to find a solution, maybe a call to Invita might be good for you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The name of her book is The Wonderful Ordinary Adventure of Part and Bell, is what it's called.
Can you still get copies of the book?
Still can get copies on Amazon.
Get some
like
for your
I
family.
said, she does get a little kickback.
That's a great way to support is support her day job.
Or come to the concert.
Come to the concert or do both.
Or do both. Or do it all. If you go to GoFundMe, you just put her name in, put Swearinger, she'll pop right up and you'll get the whole story.
Well, and that's just it. I guarantee it's going to be the easiest afternoon or evening or both, depending on, if you go to both shows, of you helping multiple organizations and people by coming and watching and enjoying a concert, perhaps having a glass of wine and noshing on some food here.
And her family's actually going to be there.
Good.
Her in-laws are coming. They purchased tickets. Thank you.
Good.
And her husband and 3 children, all 3 are coming. And of course, I've comped their tickets. Because she is going to be in Phoenix for the next 3 months.
Under
finishing
treatment, doing her treatment.
So she won't be back for 3
months.
months.
So I imagine the family, they're probably doing the road trip back and forth every week.
Mm-hmm. And Lance is a farmer.
Well, so they've got their lives, their day job. The kids have school. Life goes on, so they've got to do those things. But I'm sure they want to spend as much time with mom as possible,
right?
Or wife as possible here.
And then I did talk to Scott, who is AKA Johnny Cash. I will let you know that if you came to see the John Denver show, you got to see a little bit of Ted in there as well. Like his personality came out, and he would talk about John Denver. Scott takes a different approach. He becomes Johnny Cash, speaks as Johnny Cash, and does the songs of Johnny Cash. So it's like he just does, like you were talking to Sean earlier, how he just lives and breathes, and that's exactly what he does. That's
so I imagine at the meet and greet, when you ask him questions and talk to him, he'll probably talk to you as Johnny Cash?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. That might be a little creepy. I don't know. I have to ask him. I have to say, so when you come out at the end in the lobby, because he will come out for everyone at the end.
Good.
The VIP get the first
Special
glimpse.
one-on-one,
That
yeah.
one he may be, because he may be in the zone.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's right before the show.
It's like you said, method actor.
I imagine there is a routine or series that he does before every show to get prepared.
Right.
And
so he may come out as Johnny Cash to the VIP people before the show. And VIP, the room does open at 1:30. You don't have to be seated till 2.
So do a little pre-gaming.
Yeah, do a little pre-gaming. And then if you're getting general admission, again, they are assigned seats, unlike the other shows that they have there.
Yes,
they're assigned seats. And you can come at 1:30 as well, but 1:45 is just as good.
Yeah, come and mingle. Come, like I said, if you want to come a little bit early, meet the family, and perhaps mingle and hang out in the lobby a little bit and support the communal theater.
They're still looking to pay for that roof.
Yeah.
It's on, so that's the good thing.
Yeah.
You no longer have to sit with a cup in your hand if it rains.
So if they don't pay, do they come take it back? I don't know how. Do they repossess a roof if you don't pay?
I'm not sure. That's why we need Alicia here, right?
Yeah, they'll take a car. I don't know about a roof.
That would be interesting, right?
But either way, we need to, and that's what I love is the communal theater. They really do everything on their own. They kind of, of course, for years they've had their facility. Of course, they used to be there behind Roswell Ford for such a long time. And here about 10, 12 years ago, when Allen Theaters combined all their movies to the mall theater there,
right,
and the Park Twin shut down, they turned around and picked that up and gave it a new life. Because quite frankly, I don't know, like the Del Norte twin is now the China King Buffet. That was the Del Norte, but they spent years, if I remember right, remodeling that building to turn it from a movie theater to a restaurant. Because, it had sloped floors, the whole nine.
Oh, wow.
And so it was quite an undertaking. So when the Park Twin came up, kind of in the same scenario, it's a movie theater. It was built as a movie theater.
And I know they're really looking forward to, do you remember how much Alethea said that it's are they halfway there, I think?
Something like that,
But their next step, I believe, the last members meeting I was at, it was that they're going to upgrade the lobby. Will be the next one. They did get a grant for doors, right? So the doors that were bleeding in with the heat in the summer now are just an exit door, emergency exit door, and you can't see through them. And so that's all good. So they have started a little bit of that, but that's where their next big push effort is going to be, is for that lobby. So.
Sure. And I know at some point they want to upgrade sound and lighting.
Well, yes, that's been something on the docket for 2 or 3 years. So, and it doesn't have to be new. So if you have used equipment and you want to donate or maybe get a hold of them or me, and I will let them know, they're just looking they need lighting and they need sound equipment.
Sure.
So,
and just from my job in radio and technology, that equipment becomes obsolete quickly. And what I mean by that is the technology is constantly evolving on sound and lighting. They find ways to do it easier, quicker, better, less wires, more Bluetooth, or less things you have to run through walls and all that kind of stuff. However, and so I think some of their sound equipment's not that old. Like they did remodel it since it was a movie theater, but in 10 or 12 years, a lot has changed in that. So what they're using is archaic compared to what they do nowadays.
We hire a professional technician to come in for the shows, and he brings all the equipment with him. So I know a lot of people have said, we've done the John Denver, and we did the Swearinger, who did Simon and Garfunkel. Are we ever going to have like a band, like a tribute band? Yeah. But right now, the little theater,
it's got to be more amenable to that.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't lend itself to
You need more than a stage and a curtain to do that. You need sound and lighting.
Look behind the curtain.
And quite frankly, how you mic and sound a live play is not the same as how you mic and sound a band.
So they have a lot of the headset stuff for the actors that come in, but that is not what you can do for even Johnny Cash.
Right.
So when I get the contract for any professional act, they have we need this or we can't come.
Right.
And I take it to my professional tech and say, hey, is this doable? Can we rent it if you don't have it? Do you have it? I have him down to like a stool that he wants to sit on. I have the stool at home. I'll bring that part. You know, he
The
wants
green M&Ms.
3 bottles of water and a towel. It's like, oh, I can do that too. But some of the the DI boxes
Sure.
and all that kind of thing that has to come.
I've got to ask you because you've been doing these kind of things for a long time.
Yeah.
I've just triggered that question. What's been the weirdest rider request like that you've ever gotten? I mean, you always hear in movies and stuff about the green M&Ms and all that. Did you ever get something that off the wall?
The green M&Ms are because they wanted to make sure that you read the rider.
You were listening and all that, yeah.
So 2 stories quickly is Terry Clark. I don't know if anyone read the rider. I came in 2 weeks before she came in Artesia, and there was a lot.
It was
in
pretty
that rider.
convoluted.
And instead of, like, I always negotiate. I'm Scottish, so it's like, you know.
It's like come on, this is ridiculous
right?
here. Like,
Exactly. And that's what it was. Like, we had a lunch that was catered by Adobe Rose. Well, no one came to it. We had, after the breakdown gets 12 pizzas, no one was there. But
if
I
you're
didn't have
going to
any
request this
control.
stuff, you better use it. Yeah.
Right. I had no control over that contract.
Right.
So that was a lot of, just dollars
wasteful.
to me. Ching, ching, ching,
Yeah,
going
wasteful.
away.
Yeah.
Some of it ended up in my refrigerator, but.
I ate a lot of pizza that week.
That's right. I would say, and I don't think they're like this anymore because they do their concerts a little differently, but the Glenn Miller Orchestra, isn't that they wanted, like, are you going to read this rider? It was, there's so many people in that orchestra, the dietary requirements.
Sure.
There were, I know keto, paleo, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Vegan, vegetarian. There were words I didn't know. I had to look up and say, what does this person even eat if they're that? Right?
Is that like a pill diet? What is that?
No. A lick of lettuce and a cup of steam? Like, what is this?
They only eat green things on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
What?
So that was the most interesting because a lot of them do have in their rider that they get a meal.
Sure.
Plus,
I would imagine, especially with the Glenn Miller Orchestra, those are probably a little bit older folks that are, they're not as many 20-somethings in that group.
Well,
There's
a lot of kids come out of college with a degree in trumpet.
Okay, and so they
end up.
That's where they start
Glenn Miller
to get their
Orchestra,
chops.
Tommy Dorsey.
Okay.
But what Glenn Miller now is doing, which is not our concert, but is they'll send maybe 5 musicians and the lead guy, and you fill in with locals.
Oh, okay.
Since COVID, they used to have a bus. You used to have to pay a gas tax. It was all this.
So you really had to pay for every aspect of the.
Unless you read it and said, "I'm not doing that. Are you still coming?"
Well, and
do you still want me to sign this?
And to be honest, it behooves of them to do it. Not even so much to see if you're reading the rider, but if they can get it for free,
why not?
Why not? You know? And
why not? And they're going to get paid the same whether there's 20 people in the audience or 200 in the audience, right? So. Anyway,
and that's
those
not
are
the case with you.
No. I've read everything, and I'd be like, you need to have a Gibson speaker, really?
Yeah.
Like, we have this kind of speaker. Oh, they'll do. I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're okay with it. But you have to, because when they get there and you don't have it, then they have an argument.
I would imagine certain pianists. They're probably very particular on the patin, a Steinway this or whatever it is, and that's why places like the Ocotillo, and for that matter, the Anderson Museum have those over-the-top, priceless pianos that are
and it's sad
available.
when you have an upright and you spend all that money on an upright. It's so hard to even get rid of them anymore.
Yeah, they're
people are like, but I spent thousands of dollars on this and now no one wants it.
Yeah,
and that seems to be the case. Unfortunately,
there is a collector's market for it. It's just a small market. It's very niche.
It's not like it used to be where a lot of homes had those, and that was the entertainment.
Right.
You know, even if you had TV and radio, that was still the entertainment.
Sure. One of the family members could play.
Right. And y'all sat around and sang.
And did songs.
Yeah.
And kind of, I always think of the episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond back when, I guess when Rain and his brother were kids. Mom was a teacher, and I think she taught. I don't know if she taught music or, but she was the pen. So it was an episode where she was, Ray's kids were learning piano and didn't want to do it and quit. So Ray picked up piano from Mom again. But it was very much like you're saying, go back to the blue book, go back to the red book. You gotta, and all that learning.
That's I can't tell you how many adults have said to me, I hated practicing. My mother made me do it. finally I could quit, and I'm so sad they let me quit.
Exactly.
I have never heard anyone say, gosh, I was glad I never had to finish that or learn that. So
that's a regret. I wish I picked up an instrument and as a younger person, because I just part of it is I don't have that talent. Like that's
right.
That's where I can't like I would love to learn to play guitar, but it just my brain does not.
I don't get the whole I play by ear.
Yeah, my brain does not work that way. I don't have that kind of brain.
That's like,
so.
whoa, how do you know where that is if you don't know?
I mean, my brain's good at remembering useless crap and doing stuff like this.
I was going to say that's why you're good at what you do.
But when it comes musically, it's not my forte. I don't have the, and I got a little rhythm. Like I'm not like completely out of rhythm. Like if someone starts clapping hands, I can clap along and not be the guy that's messing everything up.
Just clapping on 1 and 3.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not exactly musical. So, and I kind of regret that I wish as a kid I kind of paid more attention and got more into that kind of thing.
Well, if you didn't see the Roswell paper, they did a great article on the concert coming up. And, on our postcard and on all the advertisement, you can't really see Scott's face. This is nice. She used a black and white shot of him full on. You can see his face, and he has the guitar out towards you.
Yeah,
so,
this one's the back.
Yeah.
I could even go a little Elvis if you didn't see all the Johnny Cash.
Right, and he has played that before, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did a great article. Scott was really thrilled. He put it on Facebook, and he said, coming to Roswell, and did this whole thing. I've been trying to bounce around his thing because it comes from the artist that he was so happy with the article that was written. But there is a 2 o'clock and a 6 o'clock. There's been a question. It's hard when you get on the website. If you go to the website and go to RoswellTheaterRE.com, you can get your tickets there.
Yeah.
You don't have to call this number. You can go there.
You can if you wish, if you rather do the phone.
If you want to call,
but if you don't like dealing with people, which a lot of us don't.
But when you go there, number one, it will say February 3rd, 2 o'clock. You need to hit it if you want to come to the 6 o'clock, and it will drop down.
Gotcha.
Hit the 6 o'clock. But if you want to come to the 2, it defaults to the 2. Great way of saying it. When you do, you go through all the rigmarole, you fill everything out, and you hit purchase tickets. You are going to wait about 2 to 3 minutes while it thinks.
Okay.
That long. And so don't re-hit it. Don't refresh.
You don't want to get you charged twice or any of that stuff.
Yes, we had a gentleman that called me yesterday that bought 16 tickets, which I would be thrilled with. But he was like, I only wanted 4, right? So make sure, and then we were able to help him out the back way.
You need to find 8 friends, sir.
Find 8 people. Sorry, can't help you. No refunds. So just so you know, that is a little glitch. We know it is.
Yeah.
We can't fix it at this point. If we do fix it, then we lose all the reservations. It will be fixed. So please just have patience
is
this
a virtue on this one.
And that'll be the same thing if you do call this number. That's still that wait time. So since the number is me, I'll tell you what I've been doing.
Because she's in essence going to the computer and doing it for you while you call in.
So I will. What I ask you is if you call on a cell phone, I will say I will screenshot it and send it to you, and I will give you'll have your seats on it and all your information. And everyone's been really great with that because I said, or you can sit on the line with me for 2 to 5 minutes and we can get to know each other.
Sure.
No one's taking me up on that one.
But I might quit now just to do it. Now let's chit chat.
Okay. But so and then I'll send it to you in a text. So before you even walk in the door, you will know. I mean, you'll know anyway because I tell you.
Sure.
But I put it in writing and you can see it that these are your seats. You will go to the will call window. You need to check in.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to do is check in.
You walk in, you give them your name, they give you tickets, you walk right in.
And if you want to walk in, I've had several people go, well, can we get tickets that day? Well,
if they're not sold out.
Right, exactly. Several concerts have been super close to being sold out. So if you want to take that chance, that's fine. Or if you want to pay cash, that's fine.
To guarantee the VIP, I'd go ahead and do the advance.
Yes.
It's only like 4 days away, so it's not like it's that far in advance here. You kind of know at this point what you got going on this week.
And I should have trusted Alethea because the phone started ringing on Sunday and hasn't stopped. I live in Artesia, as you know, but your listeners might not, and I work here, and of course I do shows here, and I have 45-minute drive home, or 47 to be precise, and the phone rang 7 times.
I know that drive very well.
I was like, oh, well, so when I got home, then I had to, do my thing. So if you don't get anyone that picks up, please leave a message.
They will get back to you.
I do have a full-time job.
Yes.
And I am on the road part of the time, but you will get a call from me. I will answer all your questions. You can come down and buy your tickets. You can wait till that day. Give me a credit card. There's all kinds of ways we can do it.
If you want to go to the show, we'll make it happen.
Yes,
one way
absolutely.
or another.
Absolutely. And again, it's this Saturday, the 3rd, and there's a 2 o'clock and a 6 o'clock. Now, for the first time, the 2 o'clock is way closer to being sold out.
Okay, so that one's filling faster than the evening show.
And I usually do a 2 o'clock because, of course, I have friends in Artesia that want to come, and it's way easier to see the 2. They usually eat dinner in Roswell, so getting you some of that hospitality money.
They'll either have lunch or dinner in Roswell.
Right. And then they're home before it's too dark.
Yeah.
Which I totally understand and I wish I could do. But I have to stay for the 6
Don't
o'clock
have that luxury. No.
And again, the money will be going towards the Little Theater for their roof. And then when they get that paid off for the lobby. And my portion of the money is going to be going to LM Swearingen. And it's, what did we say before? Liana? Liana?
The Swearingen family.
Yes, the Swearingen family. Once we pay our bills, anything left over will be going to that family. If you want to know more about that family, you can also give me a call at 575-513-8119. I now have all kinds of things.
Are the family going to be at both shows or the day
No,
show?
they're just coming to the 2 o'clock.
Okay, so if you'd like to meet the family.
And Oliver will be there as well.
Get your tickets for the 2 o'clock and you can meet and maybe give them money direct if you like.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing.
I will have a donation jar. I will have flyers about her book, GoFundMe, and the website.
Good deal.
So that I'll just get the word out, for them. And like I said, they do have an account set up at First American Bank, and it can be any branch. It does not have to be in Artesia.
Okay. So you hit the ones here and they'll be covered.
You hit the ones here and give their name, and you can do a donation that way.
Awesome.
You can go on GoFundMe. You can buy her book and get a kickback. You can come to the concert. So we'll have a donation jar for you. I actually got one of my in my office, one of the attorneys. I said, "Hey, did you see the article?" He's like, "No," and I told him about it, and he's like, "Well, what's about this cancer person?" So I told him, and he was like, "So if I just give you money now, is that good?" So I've already started.
I won't say no.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we've already started the fund.
Good. And I love, and that's the wonderful thing I love about this community. When those kind of scenarios happen, the community rallies, and so it's time to rally for this family here. And that's a good thing, and I guarantee you're going to have an amazing time. Unfortunately, we cannot see Johnny Cash live anymore.
Right,
he's no longer with us.
This is pretty close.
Is about the closest thing you're going to get to seeing Johnny Cash live that you're going to be able to do from this point going forward. And like you said, this man is kind of the encompassing of it. He eats, breathes, sleeps when he sleeps, when he's doing that performance. He is not him. He's Johnny Cash.
And remember, he's developing a Neil Diamond show.
I'm very curious to see what Neil Diamond's like.
So if we can get that sound system upgraded, we can have the band and Neil and all that to come out.
Maybe he can get schizophrenic and then run in 1 minute, be Neil Diamond, then next Elvis, then next Johnny Cash, and whatever other guys he can do too.
And this has nothing to do with the concert, but just so I get it in for my Altrusians here in Roswell.
Yes.
They are doing Denim and Diamonds.
Yes, that's an annual event. Yeah.
On Friday, February 23rd. Tickets are $100.
That's usually out at the
it's a convention center.
The convention center. That's right. And they're doing dancing and great food.
And I heard someone talking about, they're like, do we really wear our boots and our diamonds? And they're like, well, yeah, that's why the theme is.
I mean, they're not going to kick you out if you don't, but you're more than welcome to.
Yes, that's kind of the idea.
It's not it's not tuxedos and formal dresses. No. It's sawdust and bling.
So yeah, and Altrusa, if you don't know, started as business women. So it was like, if I sold insurance, another insurance agent that was a female could not be in it. And then it's morphed now into, we are a civic group.
Yeah.
That is for the whole community with emphasis on literacy.
A lot of times you partner with other civic groups to help them achieve their goals too.
And just like Kiwanis has a park, Altrusa has a park as well.
Yeah.
So they are doing that. I know they collect books for literacy, and I am not part of the Roswell Altrusians. I am part of Artesia, but who I work for is, and I know all those ladies as well. Same. So yeah, and we all get together. Yeah. We have a district conference and get to know each other, share ideas.
And the only reason you're probably in the Artesia ones because that's where you live. And
that's why I started before I drove here every day.
So it's just one of those things. I always know, and again, this is because I did the radio show for 8 years. Altrusa in Eddy County or Artesia, they're champion. They do their knives. That's kind of their known
Rata.
for. Does the Roswell group have something like that or something similar?
Well, they may have something similar, but what's funny is I carpool with someone, and they went to someone in their office who's an Altrusian and said, "Hey, I want to buy some knives for Christmas," and she had no idea what they were talking about. And she came to me and she was like, "Isn't that an Altrusa thing?" I'm like, "Well, it is in Eddy County, in Artesia."
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh," I said, "Yeah, we all do something a little different. We do in Artesia. If you're around on the 18th." Sunday the 18th, our smorgasbord is now an enchilada plate.
Yeah.
It's $10. We will be at West Main Church, and it is drive-through or pickup only.
Yeah.
And so if you do not have to have pre-purchased tickets, but it would be nice just so we can get a good idea.
Well, I got to know how many enchiladas to have on hand.
Right. So if you're going out for the day and you're going to end up in Artesia anyway, you can swing by and then maybe go to a park or wherever you're heading to a friend's house and have an enchilada plate. So that's another
in the park with your
Altrusa thing to do. But here is Denim and Diamonds, February 23rd. That's a Friday at the Civic Center. And you can buy tickets from any Altrusian here in Roswell.
Absolutely. So get your tickets. I think if you look up Altrusa Roswell online, you can find their group and you can contact someone.
They have a Facebook page as well.
So if you don't know an Altrusan, get on there and they'll come to you.
Judy Stubbs.
Yes.
Bonnie, I don't remember her last name.
Janine Best, I think, is involved. I'm not sure she's Altrusan, but I know she's involved with Denim and Diamonds.
And Shelly Olson, Kate. Those are the names that I know of the Altrusians here in town. So get a hold of any of them, and they will gladly sell you a ticket.
Absolutely. So come and get your dance on, you eat on, and raise some money.
Get your dance on. And we are not going. Let's not forget Kiwanians. We are going to do a big celebration for the park. It's now scheduled for March at the Civic Center, and it's a dance, dinner, and dessert event.
Nice.
And it's kind of going to be a Morphe thing with civic luncheon. So it's not going to be a luncheon. It's going to be a dinner, but we're going to recognize others. And then we're going to go, woo, woo, look what we did. And we're over 102 years old now.
Nice.
So
I'm just throwing this out there. Don't have to take this idea, but just throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
A possible Kiwanian thing in the future. Because they're known for a couple things.
Yes.
So let's combine them. Pancakes in the park. And get out to the all-inclusive park and just hand out pancakes.
Yeah. If we can find a 220 plug, we should be able to do that.
Yeah, it might be some logistics here, but I'm thinking pancakes in the park.
Yeah, that's even a clever name. Pancakes in the park. I'll bring that up.
Yeah, I think we could do that. And then we get Nybert out there making his Mickey Mouse pancakes.
I was going to say that, and I thought, well, I better not. He's up in session. I better not
He's
throw
so busy
him under
right
the
now,
bus.
but he's officially the Mickey Mouse pancake guy. So.
He's our president next year. So
awesome.
We'll see how that goes.
Well, good. Then he'll be free. But all kidding aside, come out this Saturday, 2 o'clock or 6 p.m. Enjoy the intimate portrait of Johnny Cash.
Yes.
It is a man doing Johnny Cash. Does he kind of cover different decades of Johnny?
Yeah.
So like early Johnny to later Johnny.
And he mentions that in the article, or Chris does, that it is about all different times of his life. And because of that, that is why Scott stays in that character the whole time. And you can see the growth of Johnny Cash and the music.
Well, and people are going to be more drawn to certain, but depending on how old they are, and they kind of, younger folks are probably going to be more into the older Johnny stuff.
Right.
The 9 Inch Nails and that kind of stuff. Whereas a little bit seasoned people, like myself, will look more some of the classic or what we call traditional Johnny.
Right. So you can give me a call, 575-513-8119. If I don't pick up, please leave me a message. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Or you can go to www.roswelltheater, theater spelled with an RE.com, and you can do everything online there. Just please remember, once you hit purchase tickets, just wait for it.
Yep. And if you do have issues,
then give me a call. We'll work
Lori,
it out.
and she'll navigate you through it. And while you're there, don't forget, they've got a bunch of other great shows and stuff coming up that the Communal Theater's putting on.
180 days?
Yeah, around the world in 80 days.
Around the world in 80 days?
I knew what you meant.
Oops. Sorry, Alethea.
But yeah, that's next up. And then, of course, when you do go to the website, the bishop pops up first thing and asking for an email if you'd like. And if you do that, then anytime there's a new event or new show or new thing through the Communal Theater, you'll get notified first through your email. So if you want to stay plugged into all the events, go ahead and tell the bishop your email, and then you can order your tickets.
And
for this
once you buy tickets, once you've gone once, you're kind of signed up for that too.
Sure, absolutely.
Because if you call, I click the little button. Yes, they want to receive it. I don't ask you.
That's right.
No, you never know. You might miss out on something if
she's
you
a
don't
marketer by heart. That's what she does. Very good. Well, as always, appreciate the visit, and we'll see you next time here.
Okay.
And we'll see you this weekend. Come on out. It's going to be a fun weekend. 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, two, both same shows, 2 different times. Go to one, go to both. If you want the matinee, it is selling out faster than the nighttime. So you might, if you're trying to, I'll just get tickets on day of. I'd hate for you to get turned away at 2 o'clock because it could happen. So,
or you might have to sit in like a regular chair, not a theater chair.
That's right. Maybe we'll put you next to Johnny.
Yeah, we'll put you on stage.
You can hold his water.
That's in his rider. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you, Lori. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Mike. It's been fun.
All right, we're closing in on 8 o'clock Town Hall News coming up in just a few seconds. Don't forget, next hour, about 8:15, we're going to replay our interview we had with Miguel Duran from the Chaves County, the Southeast New Mexico Veterans Transport. And we're going to had a great conversation with him. We'll play that next hour.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomas. After going a lot of other places in the past year, both at home and abroad, President Biden finally plans a visit to East Palestine, Ohio. He'll go next month, marking 12 months since the disastrous toxic train wreck. The party line vote, the House Homeland Security Committee says yes to the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas, advancing 2 articles of impeachment to the full House. This concerns Mayorkas' handling of the southern border crisis.
He has willfully and systematically refused to comply with the laws passed by Congress and breached the trust of Congress and the American people. The results have been catastrophic and have endangered the lives and livelihoods of all Americans.
Committee Chairman, Tennessee Republican Mark Green, Mayorkas calls the charges baseless and inaccurate. Democrats say it's all political. President Biden has decided on how to retaliate for the murders of 3 U.S. service members in Jordan by Iran-backed rebels. No specifics, though, on the nature of the retaliation. The National Security Council's John Kirby says the president has spoken with the grieving families.
He expressed to them how proud we all are of their service, how we mourn and feel sorrow over their loss.
And Mr. Biden will attend a ceremony honoring the fallen soldiers when their bodies return to the U.S. later in the week.
In that conversation, he also gauged their feelings about him going to the dignified transfer in Dover on Friday. All of them supported his presence there.
A U.S. Navy destroyer in the Red Sea has shot down an anti-ship cruise missile launched by Yemen's Houthi rebels backed by Iran. Israel's army says it has started to flood the vast network of terrorist tunnels beneath Gaza. Wall Street, the Dow is up 16 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
By the UN's count, war has turned almost 8 million people worldwide into refugees.
Filippo Grandi said he had heard heartbreaking first-hand accounts of how people had fled the brutal war, leaving behind their families, homes and livelihoods. Too afraid to return home, many refugees have poured into Sudan's neighbouring countries. On average, 1,500 cross into South Sudan every day. As well as displacing millions, the war between the Sudanese armed forces and the paramilitary Rapid Support Force has caused a humanitarian crisis. Both sides have been accused of war crimes.
The BBC's Camilla Mills. Taiwan's military is holding drills at sea and in the air to practice defending against a surprise attack. China claims a self-governing island as its territory, saying it must come under the control of Beijing. Long-running divide, a flashpoint in U.S.-China relations. News and analysis, townhall.com. A federal appeals court has declined to reconsider its decision, preventing private groups from suing under a key section of the Voting Rights Act.
The decision Tuesday by the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals sets the stage for a battle before the Supreme Court over a ruling that civil rights groups say erodes the 1965 law aimed at prohibiting racial discrimination in voting. The appeals court denied the request by groups asking it to consider a 3-judge panel's ruling last year. That ruling stems from a lawsuit challenging new state house districts drawn in Arkansas in 2021. Jason Walker reporting.
Even by Alaska standards, this has been one very snowy winter. A new storm dumping nearly 17 more inches of snow on Anchorage brings the seasonal total to more than 100 inches. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yes.
A little overcast, foggy feeling, but that will change. It's all supposed to burn off and the sun will come out and it'll be in the upper 60s. So, but right now, it feels like actually January.
Yes. It's quite nice outside. Sorry, I'm taking care of some
multitasking.
Inside baseball.
Yeah, we were about to start the new hour and we just heard a weird beeping in the other room. So
it was like something in the in Roy's room flatlined.
My guess, and this is why I know just enough to be dangerous on those things. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing it's the backup, the power supply backup. That,
the UPS?
Like if we go off the air, I think that makes a beep when it's about to stop doing something.
I've heard it beep before, but usually it's like a beep and then it waits a second, then another beep, and it does that for a minute. That was like a flat line almost. That was consistent.
Well, still on the air, so
what was that what was that show?
Oh, that was Battlestar Galactica. That was Twiggy.
Yeah, Twiggy.
Or was that Buck Rogers?
It was Buck Rogers,
not
yeah.
Battlestar.
No, not Battlestar.
Buck Rogers, sorry. Twiggy. Mel Blanc.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The great Mel Blanc.
I loved that show as a kid. I was a Buck Rogers fan.
Yeah?
I was, like, I had a friend that had the Buck Rogers ships and stuff.
Nice.
Like, all my friends had Star Wars, but I had the one friend that had the Battlestar, the Buck Rogers fighter and the bad guys, whatever they're called. I don't remember.
So I was never into, like, any of those. The kid that I was I would religiously watch Looney Tunes, like the same ones over and over again, and like memorize them.
I've seen them too. Yeah.
So when you say Buck Rogers, all I hear is Duck Dodgers.
Duck Dodgers in the
24th and a half century.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
or 21st and a half century. Excuse me.
He is a spoof of Buck Rogers.
Yes, of course, and that of course was the introduction of Marvin the Martian and where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Yeah. Well, I watched all that too, but
are you gonna?
Oh, I got to turn his mic on.
Oh yeah, they did. It didn't work, but they did.
Well, I thought it was a good series.
I mean, it was fine. It's hard. All the new Looney Tunes stuff is kind of hard to get into. I'm also a 39-year-old man.
Well,
so
I like that new Looney Tunes one that was kind of like a Seinfeld-esque sitcom.
Oh yeah, that one actually was pretty funny. Where they like did interstitials and stuff.
And it's probably a generational thing or whatever, or just age thing. But like you were talking about, not into the new Looney Tunes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for me is because they do cartoons completely different now. It's all computers and everything else. And sure, it's the way to do it because it's 1,000% easier than hand-drawn cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a certain nostalgic look and feel and sound to it that you can't replicate with the computers.
Well, and that's the thing is you look at the Mel, the actual Mel Blanc era Looney Tunes. Those were like orchestrally scored.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would have an orchestra watching the cartoon and reacting.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
The quality's better.
Yeah.
The quality is better back then. I get it.
Okay, and this is why
it's not cheap to hire an orchestra to come in for the day and record music for a cartoon.
This is why I kind of go off on people who poo-poo all over Seth MacFarlane stuff. Because, like, okay, Family Guy, I'll admit, some of the jokes can get a little tired. But most of the reason I know pop culture references are because of Family Guy. My kid's mom was just telling me the other night she went to trivia, and the only reason she knew the song "The Greatest American Hero" was because it was a whole bit on Family Guy. His style of writing is responsible for most of my knowledge of pop culture.
Right.
And the guy works with an entire orchestra for most of the things he does. Like, I'm telling you, and I know you don't have Peacock. I'm going to try to find a way to legally let you use it.
Pony up $5 or whatever it costs. Yeah.
But you got to watch the TED series.
I want to see it.
So good.
I do.
It is, but it's orchestrally scored.
Yeah, everyone's saying I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about
it. I'm rewatching it again.
I'm just not ready to shell out more money for another streaming service when I already pay for 12 of them. I mean,
that seemed like a movie that would flop back when it came out. It just seemed like...
Well, Seth MacFarlane has built a fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what he puts out now, it's going to get an audience, even if it's not big.
I feel like if it came out 10 years or 20 years ago, before that movie came out, it felt like it probably would have flopped. Like...
Yeah, well, if it had come out 10 or 20 years ago, we wouldn't have had the technology for it to be any good. It would have been stop motion or claymation or some nightmare fuel-inducing light.
Although, that could be an episode of The TED Show. Just pull a community and do a claymation episode or something.
They haven't gotten that desperate yet. There's still a lot they can mine. And that's what I really like about this series is... okay, the storyline is great because all the characters have had moments where they can shine, but the best part is when John and Ted are just sitting there just doing back and forths.
Yeah.
And like there's one episode where for like they're gonna, like, spoiler alert, they're gonna run away, and they just spend like an entire minute saying goodbye to things in the house that are like probably going to kill them. Like, goodbye, black mold in the corner of the medicine cabinet. And at the end, Ted's like, hey, let's get the hell out of here. Finally, they're like, why are we living in this death trap?
This thing's a death trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and it does. It looks good. I want to see it. And yes, I'm all on board. but I need more carrots to dangle before I'm going to pony up for Peacock.
Oh, is that all you need? Is that what we were looking for? Some carrots? Okay, fine. Oh gosh darn it. What's the Sweet Tooth? What is the name of the doggone show? It's the video game, Twisted Metal. It is.
Oh, I still want to see that.
A phenomenal series.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal is so good.
I used to like playing the game back.
It's a great game, but the cast, it's so perfectly cast. Samoa Joe is Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. But anyways, there's another series on Peacock called Killing It. That is Craig Robinson. It is a like dramedy, but it is hysterical.
Okay.
It's the only reason I know about Saul Palmetto Berries.
No, what's something my wife would watch?
They got all the housewife stuff. They have
Don't watch that.
okay. She into Parks and Rec. She into like okay.
She's the most hardest person to pick TV for.
How about, have you guys ever watched like Malcolm in the Middle is on there?
Is it?
Yeah. What's the other, Modern Family? You guys ever watch Modern Family?
Not into that one.
Fantastic show. 11 seasons. So funny.
we used to watch it for a couple seasons, but we don't get into it like other shows.
Parks and Rec. The Office, I don't think it's actually on there right now.
To be honest,
there's only like 2 shows on Peacock that piques my interest.
And that's part of it. The problem is, with the exception of a couple shows, I'm not into NBC program. Their sitcoms generally don't land with me.
Okay, but outside of an errant, like, okay film on app, what are you getting out of Apple Plus?
Right now, I'm really into the new Masters of the Air. That thing is amazing. I watched the first episode of that.
Okay.
It's really good. It's kind of a lull there, but I just watched that Harvest Moon movie. So they get tentpole things.
Right.
Like their original stuff is not always, unless it's like Spielberg or something, because everything Hanks and Spielberg does now seems to be on Apple Plus.
Yeah.
So that's a draw for me.
Fair enough.
And they did the one thing that's how you get me. You give it to me for a year for free, and I'll be too lazy to not cancel.
So okay, I understand.
If Peacock wants to just give me the year for free, and I will be probably
the whole reason I have Hulu. I think is it Hulu? Yeah, Hulu is because I got it offered for like 12 months for like $1 a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hopped on that.
Well, I had a free thing of Hulu for my brother, and then he changed his stuff or something, and at that point, I was like, I got to finish Shoresy, I got to finish this. I mean, Letterkenny, I got to finish this, and so the free got me because I was like, no, now I'm invested in like 6 shows on this thing. Now I gotta keep it going. So
they're bringing back that La Brea show.
Oh, that's been on all week on regular TV. Not all week, but. What's last night? Tuesday nights after
Night Court.
Yeah, after Night Court, and but I watch it on regular TV.
Please tell me it's not about like beasts rising out of the
No,
pits.
it's basically a apocalyptic alternate universe where they end up like in the dinosaur age or something. These people, and it's like Land of the Lost meets. What was that movie where they lose power and everything goes out? It was good for like a season, and the second season was awful.
Evolution.
Yeah. I think it's like a cross between Evolution and Land of the Lost.
Or was that just called Revolution? Was that?
Or whatever it was. But it's a cocktail of that and like old school Land of the Lost, I think.
Okay.
I've seen commercials for it. And it's got dinosaurs and people like, oh no. So
I'd be
Is
curious.
that the Orlando Jones movie?
I don't know.
The Evolution? The sci-fi one?
No. This was a TV series, not a movie.
The notable part of it was the bad guy was Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh.
Gus Fring from Breaking Bad.
Yes. Before he was Breaking Bad.
Actually, I think it was during.
Was it?
It was like right around the same
really?
time.
I thought it was all before all that. So.
Yeah, like Peacock is for people like me who can only afford like Sling, and they can't get like the antenna channels,
Well, those are free. They get the little antenna jobber.
Personally, I'm a fan.
No,
of,
you need like one of those big space antennas just to get like Fox or.
I'm telling you, Ted and Twisted Metal alone are too insane. I would reckon that Kim would dig Ted.
Falcon.
Yeah, I will have. Yeah, she likes Ted.
Falcon from the Marvel, the black guy, the Anthony Mackie.
Yeah,
he's the Twisted Metal too.
Is he? Okay. I want to check it out. There's no way my wife's watching a show about a video game that she never played. That I played in the military.
Didn't y'all watch The Last of Us?
I did. She doesn't.
Oh,
I watch a lot of stuff she doesn't watch. She goes to bed at like 9 on Friday, and then I turn it on those shows that she doesn't like that I want to see.
That's the magic hour.
That's
Mike's magic hour.
That's right. So I watch all these shows.
There you go.
And the boring documentaries and all the stuff that
Right.
they talk
I mean, you're bound to find something. If you if you scroll through Peacock, you might find
I'm
something.
sure I will. It's not my problem. It's my wife.
We're like, it sounds like we're shilling.
I was just going to say, this portion of the program, by the way, not sponsored by any streaming service. We're just hashing it out right
I
now.
get a paycheck for NBC Universal over here.
Is the Super Bowl on Peacock?
Not this year. It's
not
on
this year.
CBS.
Yeah. Which means
it's on Paramount Plus. Yeah.
Which one is the one I don't have?
That one I have.
I'm not watching that, by the way.
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
What? You're conscientiously objecting?
Because football is rigged and
Taylor
Swift is a government psyop.
Here we go.
All right. God bless you, man. It's 8:18. I'm going to get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mix of sunshine and clouds for us today. We still have high pressure overhead. We'll be in the mid-60s on this afternoon's temperature, dropping into the upper 30s and low 40s overnight, and we stay clear. A little bit warmer on Thursday. Sunshine and our high topping out in the low to mid-70s. Might get a few showers coming in on Friday, our high in the mid-40s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 45 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 52%. Sorry, my eyes were failing me. Winds are calm at the moment. Mostly cloudy with a high of 64 today. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 37 degrees. South winds 5 to 10. Thursday, mostly sunny and 72. Nice tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10. Friday, partly cloudy and 64 for a high. Winds will be breezy out of the southwest 10 to 20. And then for the weekend, sunny and windy Saturday with a high of 58. Sunny and breezy on Sunday with a high of 63. All right, it is 8:19. Before we take a break, let's get you into your Chaves County sports update. I didn't get a chance to do that last hour. Your Chaves County sports update is brought to you by DSI.
In a time where humans and technology collide, ineffective technology plagues our businesses, schools, and healthcare environments. DSI Document Solutions has emerged as New Mexico's safeguard from the pains of slowed productivity, providing our nation's top business technology, workflow strategies, and support. DSI is here to boost your productivity and reduce your costs. Get ready for success. Visit our new website at DSINM.com.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. It's a great night for basketball for the Roswell Coyotes, a district opener against the Hobbs Eagles yesterday, and Roswell won over the visiting Eagles 67-55. Roswell is now 12-9 on the season, 1-0 in district play. Hobbs is 8-13. So Roswell now will next take on Carlsbad this Friday night in a boys-girls doubleheader. It was a non-district contest for the NMMI Colts playing at the Goddard High Gym, and this is always a big victory, no matter how good or bad Goddard is. If you can beat a school that's a little bit larger than yourself. NMMI won last night by a score of 41-38. The Colts are now 10-7 on the season. Goddard, which starts its district schedule on Friday against Portales, falls to 3-15. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Garlic has been around for thousands of years and is one of the world's favorite seasonings. Without garlic, most of our food would be dull and boring, kind of like watching C-SPAN. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. If you like to cook and like to grow things, you ought to try growing your own garlic. Come by Roswell Seed Company and we'll show you how. And next August, you'll have fresh, homegrown garlic to make your food taste great and keep the vampires away.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at lagronefuneralchapels.com.
At Artesia General Hospital, our board-certified podiatrists are committed to providing personalized care in a welcoming environment. Dr. Jennifer Chow and Dr. Michael Krupa offer the latest surgical techniques and treat a range of conditions including arthritis, bunions, joint care, and more. If you're suffering from foot, ankle, or lower leg pain, we can help. Visit artesiageneral.com/foot care to request an appointment and begin your journey toward happier, healthier feet.
Edge Safety and Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for roustabout crew and a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screening. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 2801 North Freeman in Artesia. Edge Safety and Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Check out some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select gallons of Food Club milk are $2.99 each, and select varieties of Banquet frozen dinners are 2 for $3. In produce, Roma tomatoes are 99 cents a pound, and large cantaloupe are $2.99 each. In the meat department, family packs of country-style pork ribs are $1.79 a pound, and backpacks of whole fryers are 99 cents a pound. These are just some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 26 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning with the Southeast New Mexico Veterans Transportation Network, President Miguel Duran back with us. Morning, Miguel. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
If it got any better, hell, I'd have to sit on my hands to keep them clapping.
Well, that's good. I hope everyone's doing well right now. But for folks that don't know, the Southeast New Mexico Veterans Transport is a great organization that really does a unique mission that is not available had you got, like, if you guys weren't doing your thing, there'd be a lot of people without this resource to take care of their needs. And what the Veterans Transport does, what they do is it's a network of volunteers, and they drive veterans to their medical appointments that are out of town. So if they live here and they got a VA appointment in Albuquerque or Odessa or Artesia, something like that, then one of our volunteer drivers will load them up in the vans and take them to wherever they got to do, make sure they get to their doctor's appointments and get everything taken care of, and then get them back home safe. And they've been doing it for years, and I'm telling you, there are some veterans in our community that would not be getting the care that they need had it not be for the Veterans Transport Network. So it is a great network, or a great organization.
Thank you much for that.
Give a little history for folks, because you're one of the founders here and kind of one of the guys that are really stemmed why this is in existence.
Well, I'm not really one of the founders. One of the founders started back in, I think, 2008, where one vet needed a ride to Albuquerque. His car was broken. He had a friend that had a van, so he asked his friend, he said, "Can you drive me?" The guy said, "Sure." So that began. The guy spread the word that this guy with a van would drive, and pretty soon
had a lot of appointments.
they started it up. You know, mainly they were World War II vets, okay, Korean vets at that time, and Vietnam vets. The original name was Southeast New Mexico Vietnam Veterans
So
Transportation.
It kind of started with a twist on the Vietnam vets, and it's kind of grown from there.
People wouldn't see. I mean, they would see the Vietnam veterans, so they thought that we only transported veterans from Vietnam.
Vietnam era.
Well, when we took over in 2013 and reincorporated, we reincorporated as Southeast New Mexico Veterans Transportation. And I have 22 drivers at this time. 6 are out sick.
I'm about saying you could use 22 more.
Oh, my. We run from Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad, and we go to places like Albuquerque, El Paso, Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, Big Springs, out to Clovis, and all the way out to Alamogordo and everything in between. Even in Roswell, we transport vets to their medical appointments here in Roswell.
Good deal. Well, and that's just it. We live in a remote part of the country.
We're rural.
Yeah, we're rural, and it's 3 hours to do anything in this community. And and unfortunately, when you get that age where you need to be seeing the doctors a lot and stuff, you spend a lot of time having to travel to Albuquerque, Lubbock, Odessa, and these other places to get the proper care you need. So.
Yes. And we estimate about 60 to 70% of our veterans that we transport would not be able to make it to their appointments.
Yeah, they've probably been with us, quite frankly. And you and I know veterans.
Yeah.
And they can be a stubborn bunch and not always the most receptive of help. So they'll sit and suffer and not say nothing.
That's true.
So it is so good that you guys not only do this, but you will go chase them down and stuff. And when the veteran gets a little stubborn, it's like, hey, I get it, but come on, let us help you. Let's get you taken care of.
We do that. We take you from your house to your medical appointment and back to your house.
Yep.
And we do not charge a penny. If you wish to make a donation, that's fine, but we don't ask.
Well, we you have some very generous people that have helped you in the past.
Yes.
The Crumlin Group has been an asset as far as vehicles and some of the maintenance and upkeep. Gas money has always been an area where you guys could definitely use donations. So monetary donations are greatly appreciated because y'all see the price of gas and then what it costs, and these vans run 5 days a week, probably at least. Maybe 6 or 7, depending on when some of their medical appointments and things are.
And the truth is that all veterans pay with their lives. All veterans. Some pay at once, and we honor those. And while others pay in a lifetime, and we honor those. We, that was a quote from a guy named Jim Stone. He wrote that. I have this in my possession, and I really liked it because it's true.
Yeah.
And a veteran is somebody who will raise his hand and go any place, do anything that the government tells them to.
Yep.
And you will return home, and you get the thanks later when you really need it.
And this is, just from my own personal experiences, and I'm sure you've probably experienced some of this yourself, is for a veteran too, it's not always about, like you said, we do what the government tells you to do, but we do it always because of the person next to us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's our brother and sister standing next to us that is signed up for the same thing, and we've gone through hell together. And guess what? We're going to continue to go through hell together because we know each other's metal and what we're made up of and what we do. And that's part of the military is you do some of the suckiest things known to humankind sometimes, but you do it and you get through it together because that comradeship or just, when you're all in the same boat doing the same thing together, there's a strength and a ability to go above and beyond that's sometimes not there.
Yes.
When you're willing to do it for your fellow soldier,
right.
then you're you tend to get a little bit more brave with the adrenaline. You get a little bit more, all right, let's do this. You know what I mean? And it's hard to understand that unless you've been put in that position.
It's been an uphill struggle for us right now, looking for or trying to find volunteer drivers.
Need them desperately.
My youngest driver is 61 and my oldest is 89.
So you could use some young.
We can use anybody.
We get it. Generally speaking, these are during the day, and a lot of people work and things like that. So that's why retirees are generally more able to volunteer because they've got the time to do that. So
it's absolutely the best job you'll never get paid for.
Well, and here's the thing too is how many of those folks, your volunteer drivers, are like the social network for some of these veterans? Like some of these individuals are probably a little bit shut in or a little bit isolated from society. And their connection is probably that volunteer driver that hangs with them for 3 hours and chit-chats and checks in on them and finds out how their life's going. And if there's something outside of our normal little transport thing that this veteran can use, these drivers are usually talking to them and trying to make arrangements for that stuff.
Oh, we do that. We really do. We have drivers who are very caring. Well, all of my drivers are caring.
Yeah.
Because they're here for the purpose of allowing the veteran to get the medical attention they need.
Absolutely.
Without that medical attention, like I say, many would not be here today.
Absolutely. They just, because of the resources, aren't available to do it.
Yes.
And here's the thing, too, to kind of lure some of our younger folks that maybe have a time and ability to do some driving here. You've got a valuable treasure trove of experience sitting in that van with you.
Yes.
These are all individuals that have seen a thing or two, that have seen the world, know a little thing about it. And some of their input, some of their mentorship will rub off on you as you make your way to the doctor's appointments and things. Trust me, our seniors are in there, done that. All the T-shirts, they've got them. They've been there. Tap into that potential for your own personal.
That is true.
You know, that use that. And let's face it, seniors, you know, especially when you get in that point where you're relying on other people to take care of you to do things. Sometimes when you're able to give back, it does so much more to the spirit. So by letting them talk to you and letting some of their wisdom rub off on you, not only is it making you a better person, but it's helping with their own mental and psyche there a little bit.
Some of those veterans, we're the only contact that they have outside.
Absolutely.
They're shut-ins, as you say. Some of them don't want to meet anybody. They just want to do what they have to do. They've been to places and done things that you couldn't imagine.
But you get to chink away at that armor a little bit and get them down to crack a joke every now and then.
Oh,
and
yes.
Next thing you know, you're starting to have a little relationship. But sometimes you just got to peel away a layer or two of that onion first to get there.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
There's some crusty old souls out there.
Well, and let's face it, you know as well as I, that side of them is what made them good as veterans. You know what I mean? Because let's face it, you do hard things in the military, and you've got to train your brain and put yourself in a certain mindset to be able to handle those. And that comes good with doing the job, but sometimes comes bad with navigating life outside of military and you know, things that people just don't see and do on a daily basis that a veteran would do.
That's so true. You know, the everybody in this nation has a relative or they themselves that have or is serving in the military.
Mm-hmm.
In our era, in the 60s and 70s, they had the draft. And that draft took people from all over and put us all together. I volunteered. I was an RA. In the service when I joined, we had this sergeant giving us training in Fort Benning, Georgia, jump school. And he would yell out, okay, all of you RAs, which is enlisted of your own volition.
Gotcha.
That's an RA.
You signed on the dotted line voluntarily.
A U.S. is involuntary. So he would yell out, okay, all you RAs, which means real Americans.
Gotcha.
1 foot, 1 step forward. And all you US's, which means unwanted sons, 1 step to the rear. And we knew where it was going.
You got to love the military. They got an acronym for everything, by the
way. We are proud to have served this
but you
community.
know what? You know what else too? I would say to that, like just kind of finishing up that story. Towards the end of basic training, though, some of those U.S. we're getting them called RAs. You know what I mean? When they prove to the instructors that maybe they can do this military thing, that's when you start seeing a little bit change in the instructors as they start treating you. I wouldn't say like humans because that's a bit much, but they do treat you a little bit. They give you a little bit more respect, a little bit more, leeway once they see that. All right, this guy's going to make it. This is a soldier we're dealing with. Let's do it. So
it's amazing that we keep the stats that we do, and the stat for 2023, we transported 831 veterans.
That's an average of about 3 a day almost. If you do the 365, and so 2 to 3 a day almost. And it's probably more than that because that's I'm thinking 7 days a week instead of 5.
And we had a total of 947 applications taken to take them, but 147 declined when we called. They called in and say, I don't need to go anymore or something.
It's like something happened where they changed it up.
That's 947 souls. We traveled 127,121 miles. Wow. Now figure that's about 4 times around the world.
I'm about to say that's a lot of tires.
We do roll. We roll Monday through Wednesday to Albuquerque. Monday through Thursday we go to Artesia. And if there is special accommodations to be made by specialists, we will take them to any hospital on any day.
Nice.
It's becoming really hard for us to continue
with just the 22 volunteers right
and
now.
And 6 are down.
And 6 are down, so you're down
15.
a third almost here. Yeah. So.
We're taking 15 now.
And like you said, it's every day they're going. So at any given time, you probably have 3 or 4 drivers that are going in different directions or out on the road taking care of veterans at any given moment. So if you can drive a day a week or 2 days a week or 3 days a week or whatever you're available to, we would love to have you do that. Like I said, it's routes to, could be to Midland, Odessa, Albuquerque, could be just a hop down to Artesia. But don't forget, you're also picking up folks from these areas too.
Yes, we are.
So if you have folks that, I know some of you that don't live in Roswell, maybe live in Hagerman or Dexter or Lake Arthur, we would love to have you volunteer too, because sometimes it's easier when we got some veterans in that neck of the woods. You can grab them while you're down there and bring them up with you while we, especially if they got to go up to Albuquerque or something.
We have 2 vans in Artesia too, and we're getting 2 vans in Carlsbad. In fact, we're getting 3 new vans from the legislature this year.
Excellent.
The legislature has been so good to us.
Good. You should be.
And Chaves County they hold the pink slip for us, and they do everything. I mean, we are so indebted to everybody, to all these different organizations, and without them, we wouldn't be what we're doing.
And kind of as a testament to what the Veterans Transport does, like you said, the county's kind of your stewards for your financing and, these things. They don't do that kind of stuff for people, for organizations that are not on the up and up or have a track record of messing up.
Right.
They don't do that. They do. But when they have an organization that's constantly serving the people of Chaves County and doing it in much the capacity, the county will go and do these kinds of things for them. So I know you guys are very thankful the county does this, but to me, the fact that they do this for you is as much a testament of the quality of what you guys do as an advertisement for that, saying, hey, look, the county believes in what they're doing. That's why they've dove in full feet to help support and keep this organization rolling.
I dare say we're the only organization, and we don't accept any federal funding whatsoever. We're running on donations, contributions, and foundation grants only. We won't accept money from the government because, as you know,
comes with strings.
The Arabs have a saying that really fits. The Arabs always say that if you let a camel's nose into the tent, eventually the whole camel will be there.
Yeah.
So if we were to accept money from the government, they could come in and try to tell us how to run.
All of a sudden, you're not in control of your volunteer organization anymore.
So we have declined money and vans, and will continue.
And that's where the county has kind of said, "Look, we'll let you run it how you run it, as long as everything's up and up." And they give you that freedom to do what you got to do, especially when there's a unique situation or a status of a veteran that we have to get going, and it's not in the normal operations of what the organization does. That gives you that freedom to do those kind of things.
Yeah. I also have the January stats. So we transported 69 vets in January up to today.
We still got a day or two left.
Yeah, we will take more. And we've traveled 10,596 miles.
Just in the month of January. Wow.
And we have 266 volunteer hours, which our vets are driving, our drivers are driving, and we record all of the time that happens. In fact, last year we donated 3,190 hours of service to this community.
And some of that helps with the grants and side of things, too.
Oh, yes.
When you apply for some of these grants, they use these statistics, as their measuring stick to see how much you're worthy of receiving.
And you know, we're the best run organization as we run in the nation, bar none. We ask nothing from the government. We just do what we do, and we will continue, God willing, as long as we have drivers.
That's the big key in the crux in this plan here.
If you're a driver, if you're a person and you have 1 or 2 days that you can spend, and you want to do something for your country and for the veterans themselves,
some great individuals.
You'll meet some nice guys.
It will change your life.
Sometimes you will meet not so nice guys, but they've been through hell.
They're probably dealing with some PTSD or some other mental health issues and things. And, but here's the thing. It's going to make you, like, it's going to put life in perspective. I can't tell this enough to young people. If you have the time and the ability to do this, take advantage of it. Yeah, you're even though you're going out to help others, you're going to take so much from this.
Yes.
It'll make you a better human being. And dare I say, if you're looking for a little direction in your life, this might put you on the path to where your dream is, or where you want to go with your life. You know, this I swear to God, I'm not trying to blow smoke here. It's when you talk to some of these veterans, and these are folks, like you said, yeah, some are a little more chatty than others, but these are people with a wealth of information, a wealth of life experience. And if you are willing to talk to them, most of them would love to share that kind of wisdom.
They do. And I say our drivers are male and female. You don't have to be a veteran. You can just be a person who's
if
never...
you're a caring person that can, it's a licensed driver that can drive people to and from, then that's, and you don't have a 70,000 points on your license or, any of that stuff.
A few years back, I was washing my truck, one of my vans, and this guy walked up and he says, "Hey, I'd like to drive for you guys." I said, "Wonderful. Now, question, have you any speeding tickets in the last 5 or 10 years? He says, "No, I don't speed." I said, "Do you have any DWIs?" He looked at me, he says, "Well, I've had 2, but I wasn't too drunk."
Well, that's all right then.
We can't use it.
If you were too drunk, that'd be a problem. But since you weren't too drunk, but yeah,
it's something that,
sure. But then again, I imagine if it was 20 years ago as opposed to a year ago, that's a little different too.
Yes.
We were all young and dumb once and did dumb things.
Oh, boy. So I'm pleading to this listening audience that if you do have some time, call our office.
Yeah.
At 575-622-0729. That is, you will be in touch with Alice or Donna.
All right.
Which are the 2 most wonderful ladies you can ever imagine. That
they're the organized ones that
without they can run without me, but we can't run without them.
Gotcha. You can take a day off. They can't.
And there are only paid employees.
Good. Well,
everybody else is voluntary.
I'm glad that they're able to do this 24/7 because the volume of work that you guys have.
Yes.
That's the problem. It's not for lack of veterans that need appointments. Like you said, you've got almost 1,000 that you serviced here last year. The point is having enough volunteers to get these veterans to their appointment. You guys kind of have to run like a little bit of a train schedule here just because these appointments on certain days and there's patterns there. So you kind of have to have these drivers on call at any given time. So that's the thing. And like you said, you have a lot of seniors themselves veterans, and they've got their own doctor's appointments and medical health issues they've got to take care of. So their time is limited too sometimes. So if you got a day a week or 2 days a week or whatever it is, 3 times a month, whatever it is, that would be an amazing gift.
You can pick where you would like to drive to. I mean, some drivers will drive anywhere at any time.
Sure.
Others want to go to Albuquerque. Others only want to drive to Artesia. And we have other drivers that will just drive within the city limits.
Okay.
But we will take anybody that has a good driving record. The requirement is you bring in your driving record to us We submit it to our insurance corporation, which we paid $35,000.
I was going to say, you probably pay a lot of money in insurance because the vehicles on the road all the time.
There is never a year where we get a break.
Yeah, I would imagine. And of course, every once in a while, there's probably a fender bender or something that happens.
We have had one reportable accident.
Knock on wood.
Just one, and it was just a very slight accident.
Good.
But all of my drivers are very courteous, except one or two.
Well, they all are caring people because they wouldn't be behind that wheel if they weren't caring people, and that's just it. So please reach out. Please call Magel or call the Veterans Transport 575-622-0729. Again, that's 575-622-0729. That's the main office number. You guys also have Facebook, if I remember right.
Yes, we do. It's on there.
If you look at it, if you do a search for Southeast New Mexico Veterans Transport Network, it should pop right up. You can always shoot Magel an email to MagelDurand at msn.com if you have some questions or want some more information. And he'll, if he doesn't answer direct, he'll get it to one of his capable assistants to get that information to you.
They're really the bosses. I'm not.
They just kind of point. Well, you know what? There's always been kind of a joke, my wife and all that. And it's like, yeah, the man is the head of the family, but the wife is the neck. And she turns the head on direction the head goes.
That is true.
That is very true. So,
but life is good here in Roswell. We're blessed. Yes, we are rural. In fact, we're so rural that when we were getting a CBOC, it's a little hospital for our own here in Roswell, they gave it to another rural place, and it's called Rio Rancho.
Oh.
They built one over there, which is marvelous for them.
One of the most rural places in the state.
And we that squat.
Yeah. It's rural.
So thank you very much for allowing me to be here.
Anytime. They only have 10 Starbucks. That makes it rural.
That's true.
But thank you, Magel. And thank you and all of your volunteers and all of your two assistants there, too, that keep this amazing organization going. And folks, if you're looking to make a difference, this is a great way to do it. And I tell you, you're going to take out way more from this than you give back. It's just going to happen.
You're making points with the big guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's never a bad thing to serve others and to help others.
It's never.
And I always find that when I find issues or problems in my own life, sometimes taking time to help and serve others kind of allows me to work my own issues out sometimes too. So
God has been good to us.
Absolutely.
We are in a Christian nation, but we take anybody, and we will continue always. So if you need a ride, call us.
Yes, reach out. If you need appointments, let's get you on the schedule.
If you need a ride for an appointment that you don't know, we will pick you up at your door, take you, and bring you home.
Door-to-door service.
That's our promise.
That's door-to-door service. And we want you to go to your medical appointments. We want you to stay healthy.
We need you to.
We need you to be around for a little longer. So please, if you're having trouble getting to your appointments, reach out. Call Magel direct. Our office here direct at 575-622-0729. If you do not get a live person, leave a voicemail. They will get back to you as soon as humanly possible.
True.
And take care of your needs.
That's true. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Magel. And we'll see you next time here. And anything we can do to get the word out or help out, let me know.
Well, you guys are doing great doing this, and I thank you. And I thank the people of Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad that are involved with me and with us, and we are here to serve.
And if anybody out there, businesses or entities out there listening, and you're looking for a great grassroots down-home organization that you can be a part of to help, I invite you to check out Southeast New Mexico Veterans Transport Network.
Yes,
it is a jewel of organizations. So
we are just a collection of men and women doing what we think is right.
Absolutely.
For the good and not for any monetary gain.
just for the.
But when you go see the big boy upstairs, he looks in plus and minus. This will do something.
Absolutely, it'll.
Oh, none of my drivers are paid.
Yeah, that's right. It's all like you said. The only people who are volunteer are you two, basically people that run the day-to-day operations of the organization.
Yes,
organizing the schedules, the lists, navigating who needs to go where to what to when, and all that. That which is probably a full-time job to do all that.
It is true. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Magel, and God bless you guys. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.
And thank you, and God bless everybody out there.
Awesome.
East New Mexico. The report was commissioned by a group called Somos Un Pueblo Unido, a nonprofit immigrant and workers' rights group based out of Santa Fe. About 100 oil and gas worker families were interviewed. There were also focus groups held in Artesia, Hobbs, and Roswell. The top issue of concern? Workplace accidents. 8 out of 10 workers identified as knowing someone injured on the job, and nearly 30% said they know someone who has died in the oil fields. New Mexico courts and law enforcement this week began streamlining how they exchange information about outstanding arrest warrants through a new electronic process. The process is aimed at improving the criminal justice system. State police and court officials said automating electronic delivery allows law enforcement to know that a person is subject to arrest within minutes after a court issues a warrant. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mix of sunshine and clouds for us today. We still have high pressure overhead. We'll be in the mid-60s on this afternoon's temperature, dropping into the upper 30s and low 40s overnight, and we stay clear. A little bit warmer on Thursday. Sunshine and our high topping out in the low to mid-70s. Might get a few showers coming in on Friday, our high in the mid-40s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Tech stocks down. Fed rate decision today. Wall Street reacting to key tech reports. Microsoft earnings and revenue beating Wall Street targets. Still, the stock down in the extended session. Alphabet's quarterly revenue beat targets. Alphabet shares slumped about 4%. The Fed's next rate decision comes this afternoon. Investors mostly agree interest rates will remain unchanged. Wall Street still betting on rate cuts, but not until later this year. Chip maker Qualcomm reporting after the closing bell. The stock's down ahead of today's quarterly report. The ongoing partnership with Samsung a key factor in Qualcomm's outlook. Samsung Galaxy devices touting new AI features thanks to Qualcomm. UPS cutting 12,000 jobs, part of a $1 billion workforce cut. UPS stock plunged after yesterday's earnings report. Shipping numbers continue to slump. UPS revenue down more than 7% year over year. PayPal cutting 9% of its global workforce, about 2,500 jobs. The move comes just a week after PayPal announced more artificial intelligence features. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report, right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
Companies in the United States are 10 times more likely to be a victim of a cyber attack. Manufacturing, healthcare, retail, financial services, the leading targets. Arison Cyber Z Suite provides the protection you need before your data gets stolen, bank accounts get drained, and operations are at a standstill. Call Arison today to schedule a no-obligation consultation. That's 908-878-7717. Aricent, ERACENT.com. 908-878-7717.
It's time for the Chaffetz County Sports Report. It's a great night for basketball for the Roswell Coyotes, a district opener against the Hobbs Eagles yesterday, and Roswell won over the visiting Eagles 67-55. Roswell is now 12-9 on the season, 1-0 in district play. Hobbs is 8-13. So Roswell now will next take on Carlsbad this Friday night in a boys-girls doubleheader. It was a non-district contest for the NMMI Colts playing at the Goddard High Gym, and this is always a big victory, no matter how good or bad Goddard is. If you can beat a school that's a little bit larger than yourself. NMMI won last night by a score of 41-38. The Colts are now 10-7 on the season. Goddard, which starts its district schedule on Friday against Portales, falls to 3-15. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
Garlic has been around for thousands of years and is one of the world's favorite seasonings. Without garlic, most of our food would be dull and boring, kind of like watching C-SPAN. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. If you like to cook and like to grow things, you ought to try growing your own garlic. Come by Roswell Seed Company and we'll show you how. And next August, you'll have fresh, homegrown garlic to make your food taste great and keep the vampires away.
What's the buzz all about? The Honey Depot, Artesia's little store with a whole lot more. You'll find an unbelievable selection of one-of-a-kind and decor. Everything from candles to soaps, books and Bible study journals, home decor, local honey, seasonings, candies, and more. Not to mention a staff that's sweeter than honey. So buzz on in. If you can't find it here, you probably don't need it. Open Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 5:30, Saturdays 10 to 6, closed Sunday and Monday at 104 West Hermosa Drive in Artesia. Shop local. Shop Honey Depot, the little store with a whole lot more.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
We can all use help strengthening our marriage to build this house. Church on the Move invites you to the Joy of Marriage Conference, a 3-day event for married couples. Hear speakers Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman, American Idol finalist Danny Goki and his wife Leah Sett, as well as Willie and Rachel Scott, founders of Better Than Blended. February 15th through the 17th at Church on the Move in Roswell. Seats are limited. Visit cotmroswell.com or call the church office 575-622-7011.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up here in just a few seconds. Stay tuned next hour. We'll have the folks from American Legion Post 61 join us to give us an update. They've actually got a big announcement they've had since the last time we spoke with them. So they'll join us next hour. Town Hall News is next. Don't go away.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The full House will consider impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas over his handling of the border crisis, the flood of illegal aliens and drugs into the U.S., while in the Senate, some Republicans are throwing shade on their House colleagues taking a firm stand on border reforms.
Senate Republicans have been engaged for weeks in negotiations over the border, and the resulting deal is expected to be unveiled soon. Moderate GOP senators are blasting House Republicans, including Speaker Mike Johnson, for signaling the compromise-laden deal will be DOA in the lower chamber. Many also oppose House plans to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. They argue he's merely implementing Biden policies from the White House and that any replacement would wind up doing the same. Bob Agnew, Capitol Hill.
In the past year, President Biden has traveled to many places, but one place he hasn't been is East Palestine, Ohio, devastated by a toxic train wreck a year ago. Well, now that's about to change. Mr. Biden will head to East Palestine next month, raising skepticism among some of the locals, questioning why now, wondering whether it could have something to do with the upcoming election. No specifics, but the White House says the president has decided on how to retaliate for a deadly attack by Iran-backed rebels on American service personnel in Jordan. 3 U.S. soldiers and several dozen others wounded in the attack. Iran-backed Houthi rebels continue stirring up trouble in the Red Sea, launching another anti-ship cruise missile that was shot down by a U.S. Navy destroyer with no damage or injuries reported. Released without bail, the asylum seekers accused of beating a couple of New York City police officers. The New York Post reports the cops told a pack of migrants near Times Square to move along, prompting the violent response. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. The only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The World Court set to decide on some of Ukraine's allegations against Russia.
The UN's top court's preparing to rule on Ukraine's allegations that Russia bankrolled separatist rebels in the country's east a decade ago and has discriminated against Crimea's multi-ethnic community since its annexation of the peninsula. The legally binding final ruling is the first of two expected decisions from the International Court of Justice linked to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine that exploded into a full-blown war in February 2022. The case accuses Russia of breaching conventions against discrimination and the financing of terrorism. I'm Charles Dillades.
A Jewish survivor of the Auschwitz death camp has told the German parliament she's appalled by the rising strength of the far right in Germany and by increasing anti-Semitism in the aftermath of the October 7th Hamas attack that triggered the war in Gaza. News and analysis at townhall.com. In one Midwest state, the game isn't Name That Tune, it's Name That Plow.
Travelers in northwestern Minnesota can shake off their trepidation about hitting the winter roads knowing Taylor Drift is clearing a path ahead of them. The snowplow named for Taylor Swift was the runaway winner of Minnesota's 4th annual Name a Snowplow contest. 8 new names were announced Tuesday. The second-place finisher was Clark W. Bliswald. Third was Dolly Plowton. Waipahinte is a Dakota word for snowplow and came in 4th place. Keith Peters reporting.
And the shovels and snowblowers have been going non-stop this winter in snowy Alaska. A new storm dumping almost 17 more inches of snow on Anchorage. That brings the seasonal total to more than 100 inches. That's so far. It is an awful lot of snow even by Alaska standards. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Crazy Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5
Roswell Talk FM. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yes, indeed.
Hope your Wednesday's going well.
Halfway day.
Yeah, well, you got a big night. Wrestling night.
Yeah, it's wrestling night. Although it's Wednesdays have become a little less like, climactic.
A little pedestrian.
As a sort of like, I dabble in both brands now, so I try not to like overindulge in like wrestling out every night. Wednesdays have always had that special, so I was like, okay, this is the brand that brought me back into liking professional wrestling, so I got to give AEW their fair shake.
Right.
Like, I'm kind of,
then there's
watching a lot of it lately.
Is it Friday night? It's a big night, or Saturday night?
Saturday night they do Collision, which is another 2-hour AEW program.
Okay.
That's a bad night to do a show because it basically flies in the face of every single pay-per-view or PLE of the other brand. So, like, nobody watched Collision last Saturday because everybody was watching Royal Rumble.
And then wasn't WWE on Fox on Friday night?
Yeah, they got SmackDown. Yeah.
Is that still on, or is that?
So it's funny though, if you like are one of the marks that like has like dove into the TV rights deals, they're gonna be on Fox until October of 2024. In October of this year, SmackDown is moving to USA.
Okay.
USA,
it's an NBC property,
is currently the home of Monday Night Raw. Raw, in this gigantic deal at the beginning of next year, is moving to Netflix. The idea or the thought is that they'll keep Monday Night Raw in USA for the 3 or 4 or so months between October and their new deal with Netflix. Otherwise, they don't have anywhere for the show to go. And then NXT is jumping over onto the CW. So like everything's getting shaken up sometime this year.
So does that mean all the pay-per-view will go to Netflix?
Yeah. Well, okay.
As an additional purchase?
Let me rephrase that. At the end of the Peacock deal, it'll go to Netflix.
But will that be an additional buy, or as a Netflix subscriber, you get their pay-per-views?
The argument is that as a Netflix subscriber, you'll get their pay-per-views. If you have their ad-supported tiers, they're going to include spots in the PLEs, as they call them, for commercials.
I got it, in all fairness, because I've had Netflix so long, I don't see ads, so I guess I have one of the ad-free ones.
You have one of the ad-free tiers, and a lot of those older ones are grandfathered into the ad-free system. But like new subscribers, some of them can do the ad-free option.
Okay, because like mine is
or
just
the ad-based option.
I just pay whatever it is, $10-12 a month, or
and what it is they've slowly bumped yours.
Oh
up
yeah, I've noticed
as one of the ad-free.
I think
tiers.
Apple was like $5. Now it's like $8 or $9.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of Netflix, though, I just learned about this, and I'm not a Netflix subscriber. But apparently they just put a documentary on there called The Greatest Night in Pop.
Okay.
And it's all about the production of the song We Are the World. Where basically it's 46 of the biggest names in music of the 80s. That should be
interesting.
All in one room. And it was all recorded in one night. And there's like a bunch of stories about how Michael Jackson was getting on everybody's nerves. At one point, the story I just read was... tensions were high, so Michael Jackson suggested that they sing a portion of the song in gibberish just to kind of like be silly for a second.
Right.
Then that got into an argument in which Stevie Wonder suggested that they sing a part of the song in Swahili.
All right.
This caused Waylon Jennings to storm out, saying, "Ain't no good old boy ever sang in Swahili," and stormed out. So Waylon Jennings is not in the video. He's not in the picture that they took for the album. He's only credited in the chorus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I need to know, if the documentary addresses, is, I don't know if you remember this, but it was about 2 years ago. It was hot on social media. It was a clip from the We Are the World video, and it was featuring Stevie Wonder. And they were questioning the blindness of Stevie Wonder. Because he grabbed the mic stand, right? Yeah, he was falling, and he just like was...
That could be situational awareness, though, because they have sonar. You watched... what's that, Deadeye? What's the...
Daredevil?
Daredevil, yeah. That dude, he's got sonar.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, but then there's also clips of him. He's driving cars and stuff.
Grabbed Paul McCartney's hand and pulled him away and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, they got to address some of that in the documentary, or it's not a good documentary to me.
Here's the thing.
Stevie Wonder C.
Nobody ever asked Stevie how blind he is. He just said he blind.
Yeah.
Because blind comes, it's a spectrum.
Oh, I've seen him drive cars. That's all I'm saying. That's all video.
He's a little blind, but he leaned way in.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, what's that? I'm going to be the blind guy? Well, then I'm going to be the really, really blind guy.
That clip made me laugh for days when I see that thing. And if I remember right, it was a hodgepodge of Stevie Wonder looking like he can see clips. And it was that one. And there was literally him driving a car.
Right.
I was like, I don't know, man. That's a lot of footage of him
be the
looking
best
sighted.
bit ever if you get Stevie Wonder behind the wheel and then have him with the cane outside the window.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure he gets behind the wheel just to mess with people.
Apparently he can play punch buggy too.
Yeah, he could. He would be a good. If he wins, then we know that something's afoot.
Still to this day, though, one of my favorite clips of all time is George W. Bush waving at Stevie Wonder.
Should have waved back.
When Robin Williams covered that, he's like, is that a waving at me? I can't even say what he actually said on the radio, but yeah. Damn!
I should have told Stevie to just wave right now.
Just wave back.
That would have missed.
See, that's what it is. I think it's like Roxanne. He's got a dude in his ear just telling him what to say at all points in time.
Maybe. When you get to that level, I'm sure he pays people to see for him.
Right.
Granted, though, he's got to be. How old is Stevie? I'm sure he's retired at this point. He
probably.
I haven't really seen him in public in years.
No, and he hasn't seen you either.
True.
I'm not sure if I want to pay for Netflix though, just for watching.
We already have it.
Wrestling.
I'm really not ready to fork over because that's one of the ones I do not have.
I guess the trade-off.
He's 73 and he still looks fantastic.
Good for him. I haven't seen him in a while. I didn't know.
I guess the trade-off is that NXT is going to be on CW.
Yeah.
I don't get CW.
I don't watch that either.
I don't get CW.
You really don't get CW?
I do not get CW.
I thought they settled that with DirecTV.
Really? I get it on my antenna.
Not CW. All the other Nexstar program. Well, I take it back. There's that one and like one of the other.
I'm able to
My 50 or one of those offshoot channels.
Right.
I'm able to get My 50 and CW at least on my antenna.
No, I have DirecTV, and they've been in contract negotiations for a year plus.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's been ones with CBS and Fox, and we lost them for like a month or two at a time. But CW left before all of them, and it's never come back.
Right.
And I had to. Matter of fact, I just told my stupid DVR the other day because I had set it to record years ago. Anytime Whose Line Is It Anyway comes on, just because when there's absolutely nothing on TV, I can always just pop that on and watch.
Right.
But for a year plus, it's just been recording 30-minute episodes of call your provider, call your cable or satellite provider. And so I finally said, you know what? I should stop recording that.
Yeah.
Speaking of wrestling, I watched that Iron Claw movie.
Yeah, you said that to me off air.
I do want to see it, but I don't know if I want to go to a theater to watch it.
Dude, the first shot is Zac Efron in his underwear, and the dude looks like his head is photoshopped on top of a bodybuilder's body.
I'm in.
Well,
I'll pay double now.
He did go through an extensive training regimen.
You thought his body was impressive in Baywatch.
What?
Yeah.
No, I no. I mean, all right.
Just me?
I saw Baywatch.
No, it was just you. No, I didn't see. I never actually saw Baywatch.
He looked good. I saw Baywatch. He was standing next to The Rock half the time, so it's kind of misleading.
That's a tough sell, too, yeah. But I do want to see it. Chavo Guerrero was the one who basically like put them through their paces and gave them all their wrestling training and stuff. Chavo said by the end of their training, he said he felt confident that any one of them could have wrestled a full match.
Probably.
With what he taught him.
It sounds like I got a feeling Zach was a wrestling fan when he was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even particularly the Von Erichs.
Right.
Because for a movie that at the end of the day he probably got scale for because it's a low budget.
It was A21.
Yeah, it's an independent film.
A24.
A24.
So for a guy of his caliber to put his body through that for let's face it, not a blockbuster movie,
True.
just a grassroots independent
Well, let's
film.
remember when it was shot because this was at a time when nobody else could work.
This is true too.
His jawline changed. That's how big of a transformation it was.
Yeah, the only reason they were able to shoot it is because A24 is not SAG-AFTRA.
That's what it's called. I'm sorry.
I understand. That's why I said it right. Both times. Shut up. It's not under the SAG-AFTRA umbrella, so the people who are under said umbrella can work A24 projects.
Gotcha. You ain't gonna start a ruler duel, are you?
No.
Bust out your best pencil. I challenge ye.
Just quoting Monty Python the whole time.
Hold on, let me bite off the eraser. I gotta Mad Max my pencil real quick.
This is how. See, I had a sense memory from like a core memory from back in the day. My friends and I used to literally have coconuts and like hollow them out, and we did the whole run around Walmart coconuts thing.
Like Monty Python?
Yes. The woman who currently instructs the band at Berindo Middle School and I used to run around Walmart with coconuts in hand.
Why you gotta out her
thing.
like that? She's got kids to look up to her.
It was a good time. It was back when Walmart, kids are in school right now. It was back when Walmart was a 24-hour and you could really have fun. Like 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, you just got off having coffee at Denny's.
I hope to God y'all went to the lawn and garden spot in your coconut horses and asked for hay.
It didn't. That one never came up. No, it did not.
Just clapping through lawn and garden.
It was funny because like
Where do you keep your horse feed?
She had her set and I had my set, and for the longest time, I probably still have them somewhere.
That's nuts.
But, yeah, it was coconuts. Man.
All right, our guests are here patiently waiting in the other room. I hear more than Don, so I think
I do hear voices.
Is Vanessa here? I'm thinking there's more than one person there. So, folks from American Legion Post 61 going to join us here in just a few. Before we do that, though, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mix of sunshine and clouds for us today. We still have high pressure overhead. We'll be in the mid-60s on this afternoon's temperature, dropping into the upper 30s and low 40s overnight, and we stay clear. A little bit warmer on Thursday. Sunshine and our high topping out in the low to mid-70s. Might get a few showers coming in on Friday, our high in the mid-40s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 49 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 48%, with winds out of the north at 6 miles per hour. Today, they're saying mostly cloudy, which it is. Expect a high of 64 today. Winds will be out of the northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Oh, the winds will shift to the south, too, so wait for that moment. Mostly clear tonight, looking at an overnight low of 37 degrees. Winds will be out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, mostly sunny, 72 tomorrow. So nice and spring-like for your technically first day of February. But then Friday, we'll find out if we get 6 more weeks of winter. So I don't know what that tells you. It tells you New Mexico's screwed up. Partly cloudy Thursday night with an overnight low of 43. Friday, partly cloudy and a high of 64. Breezy, southwest winds 10 to 20 on Friday. Saturday, sunny and windy, high of only 58, and then sunny and breezy on Sunday. These are the official technical terms used by the National Weather Service. Looking at a high of 63 on Sunday. All right, it is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take about a 2.5 minute break, and then we'll talk with the folks from American Legion Post 61. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Roswell Appliance Outlet, Roswell's new source for appliances, is having a store-wide refrigerator liquidation sale. Now, that means all in-stock refrigerators are marked down to at least 50% off of MSRP, and they all come with a warranty. With brands you know and trust like Samsung, Whirlpool, and GE, with financing and delivery options available, why go anywhere else? And why pay more? At Roswell Appliance Outlet, scratches and dents will save you serious dollars and cents. Hurry in while the selection is at its best and save 50% off or more during the store-wide refrigerator liquidation sale at Roswell Appliance Outlet, 600 South Main in Roswell.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell, with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
The University of New Mexico. It's the state's flagship, a world-class university right here in Albuquerque. Apply for admission at UNM today at unm.edu. That's unm.edu. The University of New Mexico is the university for opportunity.
What's the buzz all about? The Honey Depot, Artesia's little store with a whole lot more. You'll find an unbelievable selection of one-of-a-kind gifts and decor. Everything from candles to soaps, books and Bible study journals, home decor, local honey, seasonings, candies, and more. Not to mention a staff that's sweeter than honey. So buzz on in. If you can't find it here, you probably don't need it. Open Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 5:30, Saturdays 10 to 6, closed Sunday and Monday at 104 West Hermosa Drive in Artesia. Shop local. Shop Honey Depot, the little store with a whole lot more.
Here is your chance to get the furniture you've been dreaming of. Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and it's time for a sale. We are giving additional discounts on everything in the store. That new bedroom set you've had your heart set on, a dining table for new family members, even artwork to enhance your space. It's all here right now at discounted prices. Don't miss out on this rare sales event. Come see us at Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Don and Lizzie with us from American Legion Post 61. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. How are y'all doing? I know I talked to you guys on phone, but our last meeting we were all sick or out of pocket, so we literally did our last meeting via phone. So we had a fun time there. So technically I haven't seen these guys in a while, but actually tomorrow, I just realized tomorrow's the first. We got a meeting tomorrow. Dang.
That's right.
I just realized tomorrow.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
How you doing, Mike?
But actually though, in all joking aside, since the last month we talked to you guys, a lot has happened with the American Legion Post 61 family.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Even making the news in some circles here.
That's right.
But if you have not heard, right around just after the new year here, American Legion Post 61 has taken over ownership of Memory Lawn Cemetery. We are now the stewards for that cemetery. So if people need its services, you need to be buried there, or if you need, you've got someone there and need work done or whatever, got an issue with Memory Lawn, we are officially taking over that. And fill in the parts I'm going to mess up here, but basically the owners that owned Memory Lawn, they bought it in disrepair a couple of years ago, and they kind of have been the group.
Took over after receivership, is what I was understanding.
Yeah, and so we partnered with them then, and we're helping to clean up and take care and kind of being stewards for that, and they would give us money and work with us pretty faithfully.
Oh yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we lost that man. He passed away here about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
And his wife was managing the properties and his assets. And so they don't live here anymore. They don't. So they basically sold it to us for $1 with the promise that we keep it going the way that we keep it going.
Right.
And we said we will take that challenge. And after some deliberation and faith and talking with some lawyers and people of legal mind, we decided to pull the trigger on that one. So it is official now. For a little less than a month, American Legion Post 61 family is now the keepers of Memory Lawn Cemetery. And so we are excited and happy to do it, and we're so glad that we're able to keep the importance and significance of that cemetery back in the public's eye. But we bit a big chunk of meat here. We kind of need some help. So if you would like to continue to support, I know there's been some great people that have been faithfully donating money for the upkeep of that facility or for various needs for that place.
Oh, yeah.
We've got big plans for it. For not only do we want to maintain it, but we want to add to it and give more things and more reasons for people to come out to the cemetery and pay their respects and honor those that that's what a cemetery is for. It's there to honor those that we've lost, and we want to respect that and keep it going.
Right.
Whether they're military or not, we want to do that.
Our new sextant, who is the graves.
Yes.
Is Laura Gonzalez.
Yes.
And
she's agreed to kind of keep
going.
She's the one with the knowledge and the know-how of how to do the purchasing plots and doing it. We didn't exactly have a bunch of people that were in the buying of cemetery plot business, so we had to learn that a little bit.
No. I'm trying to learn as I go here.
Yeah, exactly. Which Lizzie's been kind of helping out on that side of things.
And she's starting to learn the whole thing too.
Yeah. She's been dying to learn it. Sorry, I had to do that joke. I had to do that joke. It was there. I had to do it.
You're so bad.
It's a bad pun. I had to do it.
You got to.
If you didn't, you would have failed.
That's right. I would fail as a moderately funny DJ.
we got all kinds of people dying to get into the cemetery.
Dropping in left and right. It's getting bad now. I got to stop.
Laura is mobile. She can be reached. If you need something at the cemetery, you want to set up a plot, you want to start doing things with her, she's at 575. Wait a minute, let me get my glasses on here. 575-500-2497.
Very good.
And she
call
can help you out.
If you are needing funeral arrangements or needing if you would like to
buy
get a plot there
or something like that,
and please let us know if it is a veteran and there's special needs or services there. We can, as an American Legion post, we do that quite often for veterans and resources. Yep. So that's something we've been doing even before we own the cemetery here.
Right.
So we can help out still with all.
That's a Legion thing.
Yeah, that's just what Legionnaires do. So.
That's right.
Yeah, that's part of our.
Seeing as we
core.
have 297, let's just round that up to 300.
Yeah.
Seeing as we have very nice 300, that's 300 flags to put out on Memorial Day.
And would like it to be 300 wreaths across America.
That's right.
Yes.
We're getting more of them there, but not quite. So.
Yeah.
So
we didn't get quite as many this year.
Yeah.
But
and again, thank you to everyone that came out. That's the thing I loved about that whole thing.
Gosh,
is the day that we do it. I saw a bunch of people that weren't part of our Legionnaires. They were they heard on the radio,
just came out to help.
or they said, you know what, this is something, man. And to me, that's the best part of this whole thing. I mean, honoring the vets, the wreaths, all amazing, but to see the families and the young kids out there putting the wreaths and the parents talking to their
find them.
I love that.
And the kids would, bend down. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
They're going to bend down. Great. They're closer to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Use their youth to their advantage, but they get the moment. They understand what is going on, and you're explaining it to them, and they're learning a little bit about the cost of what it takes to be an American. And that to me is what I love so much about it. And showing those young people.
Was devastated during that big flood last year. So we do need to get the scouts together and do a little cleanup out there so we can continue on doing
I would gather if there's any youth out there that are looking for an Eagle Scout service project to do for their Eagle Scout rank, which is a requirement to achieve the rank of Eagle, I would imagine the fine folks at Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge might have a few projects to put on your radar to organize, plan, and execute.
We not only have the Bitter Lake would love that because there have been a couple of Eagle Scouts who have done things out there in the past. And then there's one other place that we could use the help of an Eagle Scout in designing and helping us fund a Blue Star Family Monument.
Gold
Star. I'm sorry.
It was your idea.
Gold Star Family Monument.
Yes.
At the Memorial Lawn Cemetery.
Yeah, Memory Lawn, absolutely. That again, like you said, part of our future plans is, and that was kind of in the early talks, even before all the us taking over went down.
Yeah, we had thought about it long before that.
And so, again, we're still in the planning and stages, and that's probably on step 70, and we're only on step 3 right now. But
could be
if someone's got the gumption and ready to tackle this project now. And it's a scout, because I know
it takes a while.
It does, and if for folks that don't know, Eagle Scouts and people trying for that know, this Eagle project, what it is it's the biggest thing for the to get to Eagles. Probably the biggest requirement for them to meet is they have to do a service project. They have to plan it from the get go to the completion.
That's
as far
right.
as coming up with the concept, organizing all the logistics on who, what, where, when, how you get materials, how you and
funds.
And funds, yeah, because you can't just cut a check for $1,000 and say, I'm going to buy a bunch of trees and boards and build something. No, you got to, so you have to go and solicit. You start talking to your hardware stores and your garden places and your other places and see if they'll help out the Boy Scouts and give you, hey, I'll donate a tree, or I'll donate a couple bales of hay, or I'll donate wheelbarrows, I'll donate whatever. And generally it's the Scouts as their manual labor. They recruit the labor to do said project and then follow afterwards, making sure that
Everything
it meets
is
the
done.
needs and it satisfies the client or whoever benefits from the project.
Right.
And so it's really teaching the Eagle Scout to be a leader on a project from day one to completion, to show them what it takes to do that. So it's a very important part of the rank of Eagle, or becoming an Eagle.
Mhm.
And so if there are those kids that are looking for that project or got mom and dad, because I know I was there. Done your Eagle project yet? You got an idea? No, mom. No, I have no dad. If you're kind of like, you need to get on. If you're starting the heat's getting turned up on you a little bit about it, reach out to Don or the folks at Bitter Lake, the friends of Bitter Lake, or come by the refuge and talk to Steve or any of the folks out there.
You can call me on either one.
Okay.
Bitter Lake or Memory Lawn.
And and vice versa. Projects out at Memory Lawn. I'm sure we can find some for Eagle Scouts out there too.
Oh yeah.
It's just us out there. I mean, let's face it. Memory Lawn looks 1,000% better than it did 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
But it is nowhere near where it should be. We need
got
to get
another 10,000% to do.
I mean, irrigation and the grass, and that's kind of that's the next phases.
Donations, and that's the nice part, is that you can go online to the Memory Lawn website and you can donate money.
Absolutely.
You can do that through RoswellLegion.org.
And that's 3 L's, Roswell.
Yeah, if you see 3 L's in the middle, that don't look right. It's right.
Yeah, I found out that when I said that to Commander Lee one morning, I said, God, that's 3 L's in a row. And he never said anything. And then he started using that. And so he owes me a quarter.
That's right. At least take you out to dinner or something.
Well, we got to get him back here first.
That's right. First thing first. We'll get him here. And then they'll put him on the loose during their dinner here.
Yeah.
But again, RoswellLegion.org is our website. Go there if you want to learn more about Memory Lawn, the scholarships.
Oh my gosh, you can learn about just about everything there that we've spoken about today.
Absolutely. And of course, if you want to be more involved, if you're interested in becoming a Legionnaire or an auxiliary member or a son.
Or if you don't think that you have a family connection, check with us.
Absolutely. If you think, hey, well, I have a relative was in, maybe come to the meeting tomorrow.
We might just ask you the question you didn't think to ask yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
And to be honest, we do have a few people that don't qualify for Legion, but like to volunteer and work with us. And we absolutely love that.
We love that.
They help out, because we do our meetings first Thursday, but usually, and it's mostly auxiliary, they meet every Thursday working on projects.
Yes,
whether
they
it's
do.
the charity bears to give to our first responders, or the Quilt of Valor, or any of the, each time there's a different project.
Now we're making the wreaths for the Space Force, for the Air Force, all the different, you remember seeing those on the corner of the table. Well, Joy is heading that up because I'm not a crafty person and I'm not allowed to touch glue. No glue for Lizzie.
That's right. She glues her fingers together.
Shush.
Sometimes I let her play with the Scotch tape, but only if she's supervised.
So Joy's heading that up for us, and we started practicing, and we learned a few things. And learn some things not.
Well, so if you want to get, maybe you want to get a little, or you are crafty and want to, spend a night doing craft, and quite frankly, you maybe reach the mark of items in your house that people will let you. Well, for the love of God, you cannot make any more blankets and leave them in the house here.
Yeah,
if you're in that situation, come join us Thursday night, and you can create for the Legion.
And
so right now we're doing the wreaths so that we can have that. Hopefully, oh my goodness, that we have them ready for Memorial Day. We're out at Memorial Remember
I know that seems a while away, but it's not.
I know
it's just around the corner. February's tomorrow.
It's only 3 Thursdays
I know.
a month.
Summer will be here next week.
The fourth one is
Yeah.
for meeting.
That's right. Summer will be here like next week, it feel like. So.
Like she said, we're there every Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
The Scouts are also there every Thursday.
That's right.
Cub Scouts.
So if you want to come
any Thursday night, 6 o'clock, come by. And
talk Scouts and Legion.
Now you'll find the door closed, but that's because the church has requested that the door be locked.
Yeah.
But myself or someone else will be.
And we usually have a
there
sign
at
out
6.
for you say call or if you need to get in.
We need to work out how to move that sign. I don't have muscles.
Gotcha.
So I know.
But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but there's always someone. Our phone number is 575-268-0220. Again, 575-268-0220. I took this off of the door sign on the truck. So this is it.
It's official. According to the magnet.
Well, that'll go through Commander Lee.
That goes through the Google site.
Okay.
So it does come to me.
Okay, you get it. Okay.
It's supposed to.
Yeah, now,
That's right.
You're free to test it.
As an alternate number, they can call me as well, 575-495-3325.
You can always call the radio station here if you don't have those numbers, and I'll make sure you get in touch
At
with Don
6
or
o'clock
Lee
at
or
night?
Lizier.
Yeah.
Whoever, I will get it to. No
now,
problem.
my number not only handles Legion, but you can talk to me about Bitter Lake. You can talk to me about Alzheimer's, and you can talk to me about veterans transportation.
Yeah. We just had Megal on early this week here.
Yeah,
They're desperately looking for volunteers.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can
we need
serve.
a lot more drivers for that.
And it's great work. And,
drivers.
And don't forget, tell your friends that live down in Hagerman, Dexter, Lake Arthur, Artesia. We need drivers all over the southeast New Mexico.
Yes, we do.
Because not all of our veterans come out of Roswell. Sometimes they come out of Lovington.
We even need one out in Carlsbad and Hobbs.
Very good. So,
oh my goodness.
So, and they travel. They'll be taking veterans to their doctor's appointments. Could be as close as Artesia, but could be El Paso, Albuquerque, Lubbock. I imagine you probably even have one or two go Tucson or something like that every once in a while.
But we haven't, but we could.
They travel. And
we do go to El Paso and Alamogordo, Las Cruces.
Alamogordo, that's one I forgot. Yeah. Again, if you go to our Facebook and you'll see the interview and you'll find a link to all the stuff there too. So good deal. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Oh my goodness!
It's
we
almost
kept
10
you a long
o'clock.
time. Forgive me.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna do it. We're good. Clay Buck hasn't started yet, so I'm not in trouble. So we're all right. But thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for having us.
So come on,
See you tomorrow night.
So tomorrow night, RoswellLegion.org. That's the website. You'll find everything there.
Yes.
Oh, good deal. All right, 9:57. Let's do news and maybe one more thing before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. A Tuesday report from the University of New Mexico Institute for Social Research shows growing concern over worker safety in the oil fields of southeast New Mexico. The report was commissioned by a group called Somos Un Pueblo Unido, a nonprofit immigrant and workers' rights group based out of Santa Fe. About 100 oil and gas worker families were interviewed. There were also focus groups held in Artesia, Hobbs, and Roswell. The top issue of concern? Workplace accidents. 8 out of 10 workers identified as knowing someone injured on the job, and nearly 30% said they know someone who has died in the oil fields. New Mexico courts and law enforcement this week began streamlining how they exchange information about outstanding arrest warrants through a new electronic process. The process is aimed at improving the criminal justice system. State police and court officials said automating electronic delivery allows law enforcement to know that a person is subject to arrest within minutes after a court issues a warrant. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
What is going on in the Biden White House? What is going on with our military? And that's part of my problem. I don't have faith in Joe Biden as commander-in-chief to make the right decision. I don't think he has the wherewithal to pull off what would really need to be done here, like taking out the refineries. If you really want to go big, get an alliance that Trump had. rebuild the alliance of Jordan, Egypt, the Saudis, the Emirates, and Israel, and the United States. Why don't they all just pledge that we can't live in a part of the world with a nuclear-armed Iran? It is an existential threat to our very existence. Maybe they should all just agree, let's take these nuclear sites out. I'm not saying it. I'm not for a full-fledged war.
The Conservative Underground on the Sean Hannity Show.
Personal safety for you and your family is a year-round priority. If you have not developed a plan, put buying Byrna, the less lethal pistol, at the top of your 2024 resolution list. Now, that's Byrna. You spell it B-Y-R-N-A. Now, when you're looking for protection, you need a reliable tool that can send potential threats running in the opposite direction. Byrna is the answer. Now, I personally own several Byrna launchers. Now, they're legal in all 50 states, and Byrna can ship their less lethal pistols and rifles directly to your door. As a responsible gun owner, guess what? You need to strategically rethink your approach on the use of force. We need to be smart by starting with less lethal and determining if we need to elevate our use of force to stop a particular threat. Now, Byrna is proudly American. It's manufactured in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Just go to Byrna, BYRNA.com/Hannity right now. You'll get 10% off on your purchase. Now, choose Byrna for peace of mind and the protection of you and your family. That's BYRNA.com/Hannity.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell.